All right. And Blainard.
What's up?
We're live.
Hello.
We're here. We're doing it.
Cheers, bud.
We're doing the pod.
Good to see you. It's been
Me and you.
a full 36 hours, man. I started to
It
miss
was
you a little bit.
I'm going to steal Reggie's joke, our buddy Reggie, but he was like, "How did you finesse such an interview on the podcast?" Dude,
I'm hard to get,
lots
man.
of
Your
agents,
agent.
lots of agents back and forth with management to get you on here. Milford really didn't want it to happen. I'm just kidding.
On Garrett's porch. Just like, hey, you want to do that? All right. Sure.
No, dude, thank you for coming. For
real. For sure, man.
It's one thing to be friends for most of our lives, but it's another thing to sit down and talk to each other uninterrupted for an undisclosed amount of time.
Doesn't happen ever. So, yeah.
So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm down.
But yeah, I mean, obviously I wanted to bring you here and have you on the podcast. I want to do something. This is kind of the first of a few. You're my guinea pig. Because I want to have each of the band members. I've never seen somebody that is in a band that has a podcast interview each of their band members individually,
right,
and just hang out with them on the podcast. And so I thought that would be really fun to do.
Don't eat me alive. I'll do my best. All right.
Oh, I'm just gonna grill you, dude.
Yeah, dude.
What's the square root of 49? No, I'm just kidding.
Is there one?
I don't know.
7?
I'm the wrong person to be asking math questions. No one said there would be math today. Here, I'm gonna turn this brightness down a little bit on the camera here. It's bugging me. Blown out.
I think I just got that right, actually.
Did you?
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know anything about math, so I barely know multiplication. So let's not even go there.
Sitting here thinking I'm smart, but whatever.
You are smart, and that's one of the reasons that we brought you here today, because you're smart and you have a lot to say.
Jeez, thanks.
So, one thing I've been finding out, and I know we were talking about this before, but one thing I've been finding out from doing these podcasts with just, right now I'm not some big name. I can't get, I'm not Rogan. I can't get fucking famous people on here. So, but you're famous to me. You're important to me.
Aww.
And so I'm having people on that are important to me. And then I get to actually learn more about people that I already know. Fact check, it's 7, Grumpy says.
Yeah,
okay.
I said 7.
Did you really?
I said 7.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
Holy
I got
shit.
it. Fuck yeah.
Wow. Legend. That's record. That's recorded. That's on fucking, that's on the air. On the record. But yeah, so I'm finding out I can learn stuff from my friends from doing this, which is cool. Like I can just learn stuff about them I didn't know. And like, I don't think a lot of people generally think like, you think, oh, this is my friends. Like I know everything about them. And I know like right here, I know all this stuff about them. But like I've never just like thought like, what do I not know about Blaine?
Yeah.
So for those that don't,
there is very little.
For people that don't know who you are, they're wrong. And you are the legendary guitarist, Blaine Brun, musician,
fiddly doodly,
singer, screamer now. You've been screaming live.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later maybe. But how long, Blainard? Because it's hard.
Couple weeks.
It's hard to pinpoint how long we've known each other. It's very, and this is going to shock some people.
I got a pretty pinpoint answer. I was for sure in kindergarten.
Which is how old? Like 5? 4, 5 years old?
Yeah, probably this many.
Well, around there. So the reason that we're friends generally, and we can dive into it later, is because like our parents were in like PTO stuff together.
Yeah, my mom was like the secretary treasury of the PTA. Yeah,
my mom was like always volunteering too.
Yeah,
and we had very involved
try hard moms.
Very involved try hard moms. Shout out moms. Yeah, we love our moms. We appreciate them trying hard as opposed to not trying at all.
At all, yeah. It was. It helped,
which they very well could have done. But we basically met in that way because our families were, we were conjoined, and I went to. Your sister was not in your older sister was not in my class, but it was like a weird split thing.
They had the like Hargrave, the first and second grade split.
Mrs. Hargrave and Miss Pulver's class. Yeah. I was in Mrs. Hargrave's class. She was in Miss Pulver's class.
No, she was in Hargrave, dude.
Was she?
Yeah, dude. Because I remember I was in Pulver.
Okay.
When I came of age.
I got it mixed up because they were first and second grade classes. Both.
But they were like they shared a door, like a hotel.
Shared a door, yeah, like a weird hotel room. Yeah,
exactly. And like it was kind of like 2 giant classes that kind of like we knew those kids, but like they were the other kids,
right?
Like we're Pulver, but like they're Hargrave,
And sometimes we would like go do like recess together or like gym activities and stuff.
Yeah, and then there'd be all those like non-split classes that were like not hanging out with second graders because they weren't cool enough to hang out with older. older
Which
people.
now that I think about it, maybe that's why it was cool for me to hang out in high school when you were a couple years younger than me, because it was like whatever, that we did that my whole life.
Yeah.
But anyway, your sister was in the opposite class, I thought. Maybe she was in my in Hargrave's class.
I don't think
anyway,
so, but tomato.
Whatever, yeah.
Tomato, potato.
So that means that me and your sister, we're 2 years older than you, right?
2.5, yeah.
2.5. We must have met when we were 6 years old. That's how I do my math, because I'm pretty sure you're in first grade when you're 6.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And that would make you like 4.5 years old.
Yep.
So since I was 6,
because math and 49 square roots equals, I was 4.
So I've known you since you were fucking 4 years old, which is crazy because now we both have beards.
That's 24 years ago.
Yeah. Can you flip that light switch in the middle again? Oh, no. It's fine, actually. Flip it back to where it was.
Okay. We good?
Yes.
Sick.
We are golden.
All right. Computer's not going to die.
Yeah,
all right.
Jesus. But yeah, so I've known you for the better part of my entire fucking life.
Yes.
Which is
exactly.
Wild. And so not a lot of dudes that are in bands that aren't related to each other.
Not a lot of people in general.
Not a lot of people in general, yeah. I mean, I don't know anybody else from that time of my life, really. And I don't really know haven't kept in touch with your sister. I mean, if I saw her, it'd be like seeing my sister at this point or something.
Yeah, no, exactly.
But it's like, she's family, distant family to me now. So it's like,
yeah, I mean, like, that's how it all started, was like you guys were like best friends.
We were like best friends when we were young, and then we grew up, and then I tried to date her, and she was like my first girlfriend ever.
Yeah,
which lasted, it was a 7th grade.
She was that for a lot of people.
Hey, no shade. No, we don't have to.
No shade. No, of course not. Yeah.
But yeah, she was popular.
Yeah.
But yeah, she. So that's kind of how we met. As you were like Brittany's little brother. You know what I mean?
No, exactly.
Which was super. It's interesting because we always, I think, connected when I would come over to your house.
You would like bring your GameCube, and I didn't have a console, and like we would make Boboli pizzas and shit.
Yep.
And
like your sister would run off and like do adolescent teenage girl things, and then you and I would be like stuck downstairs, like, I guess we're gonna hang out.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was way more like preteen things.
Yeah.
Like she was playing with Tamagotchis and shit, and we were like, let's play fucking Smash, bro.
Right. Or let's like I think we used to watch Fuse music videos. For some reason, I remember that. Like the channel, the MTV
or no
digital,
VH1 and shit.
Yeah. Like the channels that were like all music videos all the time.
Right.
We used to watch those in the downstairs.
That was like when Sum 41 was popping.
Right.
And
then you guys had that computer area upstairs. It was like a loft of like all the family's computers.
My dad was a tech junkie through and through. It was dope.
And your dad's a sick photographer too.
Yeah.
Which is dope.
Yeah. He's always been kind of on the cutting edge. Like as far as boomers go, like everyone's like, boomers can't operate computers, but my dad's.
He's like selling.
My dad is
like
so much
shit,
not a boomer like
like
that.
Getting the new stuff. But so yeah, I mean, we've known each other for so long, it's like silly at this point.
Yeah.
But there are things that I found out when I was like, could I do an episode with Blaine? I'm like, oh yeah, there's some questions I have, but we can just kind of wing it. But like, if we need to, we can come over here.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, one of the things that I guess I decided I don't know about you is I don't know. So not only have we known each other since we were literal children, but cheers, by the way.
Yeah.
Love you, man.
Drinking whiskeys now.
This is so fun.
Yeah.
This is so fun. But we've been in a band for the better part of the last decade now.
Yeah,
which is interesting because it's kind of, I mean, 2010 or 2011 would have been our first show.
Loosely formed in 2010.
Yeah. Yep. And played our first show in 2011, I believe. Yep.
The old Volumes
Which we can talk. No, I want to talk about that because
I
have a little thing planned I want to talk about for that.
All right, yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so I've been in a band with you for a decade. I've known you for like my whole life, but I don't know what
I'm moving my foot. I hit a cable, but we good.
But I don't know like the story about like how you
began doing anything musical, or
like anything. Like when did you first start doing music? Was it, because I know you're a singer, was it choir first and then guitar? What was the first instrument thing you did?
Yeah, so basically long story.
Give me the long story.
Yeah, so I was doing, like, my parents kept me in stuff that was like, keep him busy and distracted. Don't let him get into stupid shit as a kid,
What do you mean,
stuff.
like sports and stuff?
Yeah, well, I was doing martial arts
first.
first.
Taekwondo, right?
It was Tien Taijutsu. Homeboy made up his own fucking thing, but
that's cool. People do that.
I was throwing flying side kicks and shit, and
you think you could still kick the bag?
Probably.
You should come to class with me one time.
I'm
I don't
down.
do striking.
Absolutely.
But you should come to training with me.
I mean, and I learned like basic takedowns. Nothing that I would get the fucking floor swept by a real MMA person, but I can probably take on a crackhead if I needed to. But
which is a skill you need in Portland now.
Yeah, exactly. But so I was doing martial arts for I don't know, it was like 3-4 years maybe. It was like from 2nd to like 5th grade, and then I had a buddy.
Did you do the thing where you like broke wood and stuff like that?
No, but we did use like nunchucks and like the little like the fake knives and stuff and like side like wooden scythes and shit. Like,
sounds fun. So you've been a little degenerate monster.
Yeah, no, I was
hitting stuff. And
we called the big the punching bag dude that like has the face and the shoulders or whatever.
Oh yeah,
Fred,
yeah.
I beat the shit out of Fred.
Fred was his name.
Yeah. But anyways, so I was doing that and I just like lost interest in it, and like I had a buddy who was like taking piano lessons forcibly from his grandma, who he lived with, and him and his brother and sister were both taking piano lessons.
Who?
And I would Trevor Fallman.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean he was a homie all the way through high school, and then he went and did his own thing. But anyways, so I would see them playing piano. I'd be like, that's
how old do you think you were at this time?
It was 4th or 5th grade.
4th or 5th grade.
Yeah, so maybe like 9, 10.
Okay.
Yeah. But I would see them playing like the Entertainer and shit. The
oh yeah, classic.
I was like, I want to be able to do that, man. Yeah,
fire.
Exactly.
Still slaps actually.
Always, dude.
Some saloon vibes.
Yeah.
God damn, get me
Straight
a pint.
Give me a harpsichord, bro.
So was it piano then?
Yeah. So I started on piano.
Okay.
And
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I
in 4th or 5th grade, I was like, I want to do that. So I started on piano and I went balls deep, so to speak, and like went really hard. And that was also
where your knowledge, because you also have a huge depth of knowledge of like music theory stuff. Is that where you?
I wouldn't call it a huge depth of knowledge.
I mean,
but
more than I would say in our genre, more than a vast percentage of people that play metal music.
Yeah, but still, as far as actually knowing music theory, I'm nowhere close
compared to like our bassist Austin.
Yeah,
who is a music major. Okay.
Yeah, but in
still,
any case, you
understand it.
Vaguely,
you can read music.
I can read music for piano. Guitar, fuck off.
Right.
But
give me some tabs.
Yeah.
Let me get some tabs.
Yeah, straight up. But so I started on piano lessons. I got, for what I would say a 5th grader could do, pretty goddamn good, pretty quick. Just because I would wake up in the morning at like 2 hours before school. Yeah, exactly. I dove head first, and I went in and I. Like 2 hours before school, I would like start playing piano, and that was also around the time when like Lord of the Rings was coming out and shit. And I heard that score by Howard Shore, and I was like, "What?"
You were like, "I gotta learn the Lord of the Rings theme
exactly,
song.
Yeah. So I learned like the full suite of Lord of the Rings stuff, and so
nice.
I would wake up like 2 hours before school, play that, miss the bus,
because
like,
you were playing piano
just for hours straight.
That's tight.
Yeah. So
that's a flex.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I was practicing piano.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, Blaine, you're so talented.
And then, it was another. Oh, I just remembered actually. You remember the music class, Mrs. What was her fucking
Anderson?
Name? Mrs. Anderson. Yeah, the one who was like kind of in a
thing
with the gym teacher.
With the gym teacher.
Yeah,
the female gym teacher.
Or they said they're sisters, but
yeah, it was strange.
It was a little weird. Anyways, yeah. So there was another kid, fucking Aaron Vernig, would like be playing Fur Elise, the doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Oh, yeah.
And that was another one that was like, I need to fucking do that.
It was
That's
all
sick.
those.
Yeah,
all
exactly. Because, in 4th grade, you see
Right.
like fucking 4 people like looking at somebody who has a skill.
When you're
and it's
playing
like,
the black key and the white key.
Yeah, and you use all your fingers.
I had a keyboard at my parents' house, remember, for a while.
No.
We had a little shitty Casio thing that we played.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, but anyway, so I got into that, and then
when did that change from piano to guitar?
Yeah,
so you did piano for how many years?
It was like a year and a half, maybe 2 years, if I'm being realistic. I'm not really sure.
Okay.
Life's a blur, man.
I feel it.
But
we're tapping in right now.
But at the same time as me learning piano, like me and my sister were both in martial arts, and then like I went on to piano and she went on to guitar.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah,
she was in her like Avril Lavigne punk rock.
Yeah,
phase.
dude. Yeah, she was wearing plaid skirts and shit.
I remember
Vans,
this. Yeah.
Yeah, and black in her eyes and other things.
Right.
But so she went into that, and she got like a a shitty Squire Strat or whatever, you know.
Don't shit on your sister's first guitar.
No,
be nice to your sister.
I mean, it's a shitty guitar, but she was doing fine.
I know.
But yeah, so she would go and
she
take
still
lessons.
Play guitar?
No.
Okay.
No. Not that I know of. At least I think she dropped that quite a while ago.
Sure.
But basically, so she was doing that. I was doing piano, and then I don't know. I started listening to like fucking Green Day or whatever.
Okay.
And I was like, yo, I want to. Now that's what I'm into.
Oh, okay.
You know, in like
little
5th
distorted
grade.
guitar.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Vocals.
Yeah, so
fucking Green Day rips. I don't even care.
And I wanted to do both of them at the same time.
Don't talk shit on Green Day.
No, of course
not you, but I'm just saying. Put some respect.
Anybody else?
Put some respect on the name.
Yeah, for sure.
If you want to talk to the stream ever, look at the camera, not here. It's kind of confusing. I always end up like, listen. And then it's like, no, you got to be like, listen, chat.
Right.
But no. But anyway, so you started listening. What did you hear first? Do you think it was like the
No. It was late. Well, I was already playing guitar before I heard Green Day. Actually, now I think about it, I don't even know, dude. Timelines, man. I don't know.
What do you think your first song was on guitar?
The first song that I ever learned was "Day Tripper" by the Beatles.
Day Tripper.
Yeah, that one.
That's a fire song.
It was good. I mean, I would teach anybody that as their first song on guitar ever because it like gets you playing all the strings and like it's really simple, but like still playing all the strings, whatever. Dude, I kind of want to hear that. And then I learned like "Purple Haze" by Jimi Hendrix and shit. You know,
or I was thinking of "Deep Purple." Everybody learns the
"Smoke on the Water." That was another thing. No, it was. It's all coming back now.
That's what I'm here for.
So you remember Jackson?
Yes.
Allison Bruce's little brother?
Yes.
Yeah, he had a fucking
People from
guitar
high school,
too.
Middle school, elementary school.
Yeah.
That lived in our neighborhood.
So I was hanging out with Jackson playing Jack and Daxter, as it were.
Sick. Throwback.
And he had a guitar, and he would play it on his lap like a lap steel because he had he was not trained or anything. He would play it in like just the open string and like his thumb. And
weird.
And we learned Iron Man and Smoke on the Water together. And that was my first guitar experience. Now that I think about it.
Okay. And then you were like,
and then I was like, I want to do this for real though.
I want to get one of those.
Yeah. And so
why that over the piano?
Because
I feel like that's kind of because it's like the same but
different.
I mean,
Tosin Abasi put it in like the most succinct way ever.
From Animals as Leaders.
Yeah. Okay. That the guitar is like the skateboard of instruments. You know?
Ooh, I like that.
It's just cool,
I've never heard that. Yeah, it is just cool. It is
cool.
way cooler. And you're sitting there learning piano and you're like, this sounds cool.
Yeah.
But I feel lame. I feel like Beethoven.
Yeah,
and
which I'm super down with. But then
see somebody ripping the guitar. But it's hard to make piano look cool. Some people do it.
Yeah.
Like the Winds of Plague chick and like these people that do it in metal.
And like
metal bands.
In a modern like band scenario.
It's
hard
to
make
it look cool.
Yeah, I mean.
But those old guys when they're playing like this.
Yeah, I love it all. But
for sure.
Yeah, so my sister was playing guitar too, and then I was like, yo, I want to also, but it was because we were doing the like, you know, I was on piano, my sister was on guitar, she was like, and I was also at that point playing clarinet in middle school, and I discovered...
Oh, that's what I was going to ask too, if there was another instrument.
I discovered like Disturbed and shit, and System of a Down.
Were you playing Disturbed on the clarinet?
No.
That would have been sick.
That would have, yeah.
So you discovered the new metal goats,
yeah,
and then it was all.
And then I was like, so I wanted to go buy a guitar, and my sister was very adamant that didn't happen because she didn't want me to like take over her thing, so to speak,
a sibling rivalry kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Quit copying me, Blaine.
Yeah, pretty much.
So that's why you're
pretty
here.
Much.
You
and I mean,
sister.
Not to like be that guy or anything, but like she saw how quickly I got at piano, and she was like, "Fuck." Like shit, that's right. Exactly what it was. We've talked about it a million times. She knows that's how
a little bit, but a little bit of friendly competition,
rivalry,
between siblings.
Yeah, and I mean, like we never played together. Now that
sucks.
We fucking hated each other growing up, man. Like we were
as long as cool. I mean, I think most siblings did.
But yeah,
as long as you get along now when you're older.
Oh yeah,
cool.
Oh yeah, she's awesome.
She's a homie.
But yeah, so my mom was kind of opposed to it too because she didn't want me stepping on Brittany's toes. But my dad was like, dude, I want this kid to do what he wants to fucking do. So he took me to Guitar Center. He took me to Guitar Center. I think it was like Christmas or something. He's like, let's get you a setup. So he got me my old Schecter, my Schecter Griffin series. That That and
the one you still play or no?
No,
or no, the red one.
No, the very first one. I still have it, and like John and I have like repaired it and like put a new nut in there, and like it still works. You know,
you gotta keep it.
Still works. Yeah, I mean that.
It'll be worth $1 million someday.
Yeah, nah, it'll be worth like $20. But yeah, so I got that and like a Line 6 Spider 2 like fucking 30 watt combo. You know,
little practice amp.
With put it on insane.
Oh, insane.
Yeah, hit the insane
Turn it
button.
up to 11.
Yeah, and so yeah, that's how I started that, and then I discovered Children of Bodom.
And that's when it all turned sideways.
That's
for you.
That's
when you became
where
the
I was like,
long-haired childhood Blaine.
Oh, this is what it can be.
I should have had some pictures prepared of how your old
I used to be
a
a real dedicated long hair.
You're getting back there.
I'm getting there.
You're looking good.
I'm getting there. But I'm talking.
I should take
I'm
my
talking
hair
down
out.
to the ass dedicated long hair.
Take my hair out in honor. Pour one out for your fucking long hair.
Yeah. I wish I had never cut it, but you know.
Well,
anyways.
I mean, we all make bad decisions, and we all have regrets, and that's okay. And
I was the one that stuck it out all the way through high school though, because we all had the middle school hair.
True.
Like, so back to middle school, it was like our friend group of the time of like the middle kids. Like we never really hung out when I was in middle school.
No,
you kind of had your own.
We
were hanging out with
we hung out more in high school when
you were still hanging out with like Massett and shit though, right? In middle school, like. Because that was like when Born of Osiris started getting discovered.
It was more like freshman year.
Okay.
I don't really remember anything.
Yeah, well, freshman year for you, that was starting to hit like 7th grade for me, which is when I was like discovering Children of Bodom, Winter Sun, fucking Necro, you know.
So wait, to go back, so you got the guitar and then you learned the Beatles song. And you learned Deep Purple. You saw the Deep Purple. You had the Deep Purple interaction with the Jackson guy.
Yeah.
And then you got a guitar, said I'm gonna learn some songs. So the first thing that you navigated toward was like classic rock shit, like Beatles.
Right away. That was more just like getting my bearings, because that was what my guitar teacher was wanting to do. She was the same lady who taught me piano. It was the same. She did guitar and piano lessons.
That's cool. So you just switched it up with the same teacher.
Yeah, I would do like, instead of a half an hour lesson on piano, I would do a full hour lesson, 30 minutes on that, and then 30 minutes on guitar. Sick. And then it kind of just transitioned into just an hour on guitar.
Oh, nice.
And I never told my parents, and they were like, well, let's just do a half an hour guitar lessons like you do. And that was another thing, was that I didn't know this until years later, but after like a year or two, finish it? All right, let's go fucking... After like a year and a half, maybe, taking lessons from her, like at the end of 5th grade all the way through like the middle of 6th, I started bringing her like Children of Bodom riffs. And I was like, let's fucking do this.
Right.
And
Did she try to put the kibosh on it at first? Like it's too
technical? No, she loved it. She was fully like, this kid wants to fucking shred, so let's get him there. But she, unbeknownst to me, my dad started pushing me to be like, yo, let's get you a different teacher. Like, let's take you somewhere else.
And I was a real guitar teacher kind of thing.
Yeah. And I was, I was a kid. I was like attached to it. It was basically,
I was your teacher. Yeah.
Yeah. And I would go to her every week with like a new thing that I learned on my own and be like, check this out. And she'd be like, sick, but, so it ended up being that
those people are kind of like therapists when you're a kid too.
Right. But she went to my dad and was like, hey, I can't keep up with this kid.
Oh.
And I didn't know this until I was like a sophomore in high school, because
your teacher was like, I can't. He's
he's capped me out.
He needs a more guitar teacher.
Yeah, she's a very good beginner teacher.
Right.
But that was the thing, is
How long did that take?
I graduated to intermediate pretty like a year and a half, 2 years, I think.
Lessons.
Yeah, and then 7th grade rolled around, I think.
Were you working out of books or just transcribing songs?
She was teaching me how to learn shit by ear.
Sick. Okay.
So that's why you're so good at that. Well, I mean, it was just training, I mean, my ear is what it is, but like knowing how to translate what I hear in my ear to like what it looks like on the fretboard,
Yeah, you had to learn that over time.
Yeah, that because
you are really good at
that. That was the learning curve for sure.
We'll be at practice and like we did like with the I believe in a thing called love.
Yeah.
Just listen to the rhythm of my heart.
Yeah,
you were just like,
I don't even.
You always go like this. It's like, meh, 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 and then you go, nah. and you like have it. Like you do a couple notes and then you just got it. And I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
You did it with the Motley Crue song that we warm up, right?
Yep.
Kickstart my hee-haw.
Yeah, kickstart my hee-haw.
You soundtrack with
that, dude.
God damn it.
Yeah,
no, but yeah, you so you picked up. She taught you kind of a little bit about how to hear stuff, how to ear stuff out and put it on the fretboard.
Yeah, okay. And so I basically like took that and ran with it, and that was when she ended up telling my dad like I can't fucking keep up with this kid because you would
go home and just be earing stuff out
like Winter Sun and Children of Bodom and
right.
You know shreddy crazy shit.
In 7th grade.
Yeah, and
ripping.
Yeah, and then once I got to like freshman years, when I got into like the NC Ferrum stuff, and I started this Red Schecter Shredder YouTube channel where like there was this guy named Red SG Shredder.
Never too late.
What's up?
You got to pick it back up. So
yeah,
never too late.
Yeah, but there was this dude Red SG Shredder that I was watching on YouTube all the time, and his like whole catalog of YouTube videos was like playing every Children of Bodom song ever.
Holy shit.
And so I was like, I want to do that, but with NC Ferrum because I got like super into folk metal.
Yeah.
And so I got like 10 songs in, and then it just kind of fell through. And also I was playing them totally incorrect because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I feel like
this was the time though before like smartphones too, because it was like
I was using my dad's little point and shoot fucking. My dad had like a
little Sony
50,
Cybershot.
like 8 megapixels maybe, yeah. But he was just like, here you go, have fun, and I was just.
That's a thing that people don't think about really. Like it's so easy to record yourself pretty fucking high def right now.
Yeah.
Everyone in America can record. I mean, but this is a $3,500 camera.
Yeah.
This is stupid. I'm using this as a webcam. It's like it's a disgrace. To this, but
Poor
it's like
camera.
But I mean, I use it for other business shit. So that's why I just might as well use it as the webcam. But like nowadays the iPhones, you could do this on an iPhone. You know what I mean? You could do just as good, if not better. And it's like I think it's people don't think about how before. I think you had like an NV2 or something like a flip, like some kind of like when you flip
dude, I still have that
shit. You can have it like this, but then it flips up.
Yeah,
Grumpy, pull up the NV2
with the
ENV2. You know what I'm talking about, Grumpy. You had one, I bet. If she did, she had a BlackBerry. If she didn't have
it was a step above the fucking Razor, you know,
right?
Or the Sidekick.
Right,
remember those fucking things?
Oh, dude, if you had a Sidekick, you were
cool.
You were fucking.
Yeah.
If you had a Sidekick back in the day, you were fucking.
Back when you were 11,
dude. I remember like the coolest dudes had the Sidekick and they'd be like, "Hang on a second." And it would,
yeah,
like
and the little ball scroller
like
thing on the side,
bro.
It was like a fucking
like a switchblade.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anyway,
but yeah, like that was back in those days when you couldn't even. It was hard to record yourself. So the fact that you even started a YouTube channel when in fucking 7th, prehistoric YouTube.
9th grade,
that's prehistoric YouTube.
Yeah, it was 2006 or 7.
If you posted a video right now, I bet it'd probably do okay because your account is so old because it has tenure.
Yeah, I mean there's definitely a couple videos on there that have like 8,000 or 9,000 views. You know,
yeah.
But
little kids shredding.
Yeah. The long-haired kid with no tattoos shredding.
But so you found in Sephirum and you were doing all that.
Yeah, so back up a little bit. So 7th, 8th grade, I was in band with like Garrett and Austin and you know.
Our drummer and our bassist.
Yeah.
Currently. So we all went to middle school, elementary school, high school together.
Yep. And same with Garrett and Austin. I've known them since I was in 1st grade. We had the same second grade split too, you know.
Yep.
But so like Garrett was playing drums and I picked up guitar and I would end up going over to their house and, you know, we would jam in their basement or whatever.
Where it all started.
Yeah.
The Hague basement.
And then we discovered marijuana.
Oh, weird.
Ooh.
That's strange.
Ooh, creativity.
I think you need to rediscover marijuana.
Yeah.
I think you need to find marijuana again.
Puts me in bed.
Yeah.
But in any case, yeah, so we did that. We discovered the little hoo-ha and we started jamming System of a Down. We didn't even jam that. It was just like straight Children of Bodom. Garrett and I were like Bodom fucking nuts.
What's the other band? Why am I having not Children of Bodom, but there's another band.
I mean, Dream Theater was another big one for us at that time.
Was Angel? No. Who's the Alexis? The guy that passed away?
Alexi Laiho.
Alexi? Yeah, that's from Bodom. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
Alexi.
feel like I'm thinking of another one that I always get mixed up with Children of Bodom because I didn't listen to that music. I like it, but it's not like it's something I completely missed the boat on.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, well, also simultaneously with that, it was like Lamb of God, Machine Head, fucking.
Which Lamb of God I got into.
Trivium, you know, like, yeah, dude, Lamb of God was like a big, like the Sacrament album. Like, I was like 13. Ooh, that slippity slaps, dude.
We need to get back to that.
Oh, I'm
like
dude, and
Lamb
of God is one of those bands that like can't put out a bad album,
they're
man.
timeless.
Like they're just.
I think that's one. We're gonna talk about shows that we
it.
went to later, but I think that was one of the sickest shows we went to when we saw Lamb of God. I think they played with like fuck it,
fucking Jamie Jost is a powerhouse, man. But
anyway, so you're listening to all this music and you're learning it on
guitar.
I
was just becoming a full-fledged metalhead kid, and it was like, 12, 13 years old, smoking weed, playing guitar.
Now, you had an interesting, I would say, technically, you have the most stage experience out of anyone in the band, right?
Yeah, because
you went to School of Rock.
When my dad was finally like, okay, he like had to fucking put his fist on the table about like, we're not going there because to my first teacher.
Oh, because she doesn't know because she approached him, right?
She approached him and was like, yo, you need to get him somewhere that's like,
somewhere that is above what I can teach him.
And so my dad tried to like coax me into it, and I was just like, no, I'm fine here. I'm fine here. Like it was just working for me, which I completely understand. So
totally.
It finally came to the point where I ended up going to like School of Rock. I don't know if I was like 14 or 15 at that point. I can't remember if I had another teacher in between that. I don't think I did. Yeah, so I ended up at School of Rock Portland.
Okay, explain to people what that is.
It's basically like a kids program. You can be anywhere from like 6 to 18, and you have your instrument of choice or multiple. It doesn't really matter, but they have instructors basically. Okay. So like I was the guitarist or whatever, and like there was like 4 or 5 other guitarists, and then there was like 3 drummers and a couple vocal kids, couple piano kids, couple blah 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 bass kids.
Right.
And, everyone would just kind of switch around. But then you would my first show, 13 maybe, and stuff. And I sucked at it because I wasn't trained. And
but you were doing guitar?
Okay. I sang Mr. Crowley, dog.
They kind of make everybody do like a round robin thing?
Yeah, what? A little bit. Like they would basically, they would push you out of your comfort zone, which was really good, and that that program continues to a lot of really good musicians like Gunner.
I
was like he was like 3 years below me, and like
Chronological Injustice. Are they still a thing?
No.
Okay.
No, they're still a thing, but he's not part of it anymore.
Okay,
yeah. But like really like prodigal kids basically all together.
How many years of you doing School of Rock?
4.
And then we
3.
And then we played our first show, and you're like, I've already been on stage.
I'm ready to go. Yeah.
We're all still working out kinks. And I mean, everybody, you kind of are always working out kinks.
Right. With my whistle a bit for it, but
and then you fast forward to 2010.
Yeah.
No. Sorry. So then you're in guitar class in high school.
And that just compounded it too, because that's when I started. That's when Garrett, Dustin, and I started playing. Like
Dustin was our original guitarist.
What we really wanted to play. So like School of Rock was like I could play. Like we did a Death Clock show. We did got into the other territory of like actually being a guitarist, but learning actually hard music. But Garrett, Dustin, and I would get together and start learning like the Faceless songs and Veil of Maya, like Common Man's Collapse era shit, and we would go balls deep on that. And because we were like the 3 kids who like we already looked like we were trying to be career musicians in high school, Mr. King, our guitar teacher, who's a fucking legend.
He's a legend.
He would basically just like, you guys do whatever you want. Like we would do the levels or whatever. He would just be like, just go play in the practice rooms, go do your thing.
Right.
And whether we were just wandering the halls, plunking around Tenacious D in the hallways, or we were in the practice rooms, like.
Well, that's how I met you guys because.
Right.
Well, I basically met Garrett, our drummer, because I was like band merch.
Right.
And I was like, and I would just sit and like look.
He was wearing his Sarah Palin fetus animosity shirt.
Oh yeah. And I would basically just sit there and like look at bands and like not do it. I would, because the TAs are a joke.
Teachers,
anyway.
it's just a filler.
It shouldn't even be allowed to do that shit.
Yeah.
Kids are not learning
for real.
shit when they're TAing, but learning how to fuck off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
reckless abandon.
Yeah, but anyway, it's like I met him there, and then I think there was some kind of, hey, we're gonna be playing, in the practice space next period or something, and I would like skip class, or these guys
y'all are playing Bow Down.
Yeah, you guys are playing Born of Osiris songs in here, and you're playing fucking As I Lie Dying shit, and you're playing The Faceless and shit, and I'm like, holy fuck, like these kids rip. And then we just started jamming, and there's the classic story of when
Mr. King the Legend heard Taylor screaming.
Yeah, he heard me screaming. They were basically he had a class going, and then Blaine and Garrett and Dustin were all playing.
It was like our lunch period too.
Yeah, they were.
So we weren't supposed to be there in the first place.
They were in the practice rooms outside of the classroom playing,
and
also
across
the hall.
Real quick for context, these practice rooms had like 4 Marshall half stacks and 2 full drum sets. So that's how we were able to do this in the first place. Yeah, like our high school was really dope for.
Our guitar program was sick.
There's other guitar classes.
Probably at least at that time. Maybe now there's, I don't know.
I would doubt it. They've kind of defunded the arts like crazy in public schools. But in any case, yeah, we had 4 Marshall half stacks, and we could just fucking crank them up to like real volume,
as loud as you needed to.
Yeah.
Which was awesome.
But
yeah, so I would come in there kind of like, I definitely was not supposed to be in there.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't in class with him. I didn't even have class. But he would like come in, or I would scream into Bow Down by Born of Osiris. Fucking bow down. And that was maybe the first time we ever jammed together as a band.
I think it was, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
And that was probably, I think I was a junior or a senior.
You probably were a senior.
I think I was a senior.
Yeah, because I'd started discovering like the Sumerian core stuff like late freshman year, I think.
Yeah.
Because I was still like Garrett kind of went that direction with more like the groovy bouncy shit, and I was still like full blown, like I was in the rabbit hole of folk metal at that point.
Okay.
Freshman year, like Elvady and all, blah blah blah. But so it took me a minute to like re-divert any amount of give a fuck
to like the Faceless and stuff.
Yeah, or even listening to it and liking it. But and then that's where I kind of became I like all metal no matter what kind of person that I am now. But
but yeah, so I would come in on my lunch break while you guys were practicing in those rooms, and I heard you guys jamming like the relevant kind of Sumerian core music.
Yeah.
And then I think that's sort of how to keep moving down the line here of the timeline, I think that's sort of how we like progressed into like being in a band together, because then it became like I don't really remember, like we need to figure this out now.
I remember specifically.
I don't remember like why we decided, hey, let's be in a band together.
It's because we did that a couple times. We did the lunch break thing a couple times while you were a senior.
The naughty lunch break practice room meeting. It was like meeting.
Yeah,
it was an affair.
you would come make us cheat on our anyways. So yeah, you would come in and do that, and then like it happened a few times, and I just remember specifically at your graduation, because it was also my sister's graduation.
Oh yeah.
2009. 2009. Yeah, I like Chris was talking to my mom. Your dad was talking to my mom or something, and that was the first time I met your dad actually.
Who's a complete legend.
Yeah, he's my favorite man's on the planet. But anyway, so we. I walked over to you guys because you guys were talking, and you were in your like graduation gown and everything, and you were just like, you grabbed me by the shoulders or something, and we're just like, I can't wait to make fucking dirty metal with you or something. It was just like one of those graduation, everyone's on a high, and like, you know,
that's
like,
cool though.
But you said that to me, and I remember that one like really hard. I was like, you know what? Yeah, I can't wait to make some fucking dirty metal.
We
with
must
you
have
too,
already
man.
talked about it at that point.
Yeah, we had like
kicked the ideas around.
I think we had, yeah, and like you being the vocalist, and then like, I mean, obviously we had the me Dustin Garrett thing going, and then.
But then sometime in between all that though, it must have been that summer after I graduated. I was trying to start a band with Cody, and with Andrew Massett, and so I'm like, how does this all fit in?
So no, I think it was because me and Dustin would go to Guitar Center and write riffs at Guitar Center in like the pro room, you know, like we were like known as like the kids that were just like when they're here, like just let them have that room, so we would play in the half stacks and shit. But and that was when I started smoking cigarettes because Dustin would steal his cigarettes, and
that's partially my fault.
Do the one cigarette before and one cigarette after, and then
And now you're addicted as fuck for life. You're gonna quit them. It's fine.
Oh, I will. But
YOLO. We're YOLOing right now.
Regardless, so yeah, we would start writing music at fucking Guitar Center, and Garrett, him and I would like jam it at school and like after school at Garrett's basement, and then I don't know if we hit you up or if. I don't remember.
There must have been a blackout period where we weren't really hanging out.
There was a solid like year and a half where like nothing happened.
Cause me and the guy, it wasn't like directly after high school we started this band. Cause you were like
it was in the middle of our senior year.
SC was like the third thing that I tried to start. Cause I tried to start something with Brighton before he went to Ocean.
Regicide.
Shout out Reggie, because I know he's listening. But and then it was. I forget what we were Restless. I think we were going to be named when it was me and Cody and Andrew Massett. Rest in peace, our homie Andrew Massett.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were going to try to do that, and then what happened was at some point you guys were like, "Hey, we got these riffs."
Yeah.
Or something. Somebody reached out to me. I don't remember what happened.
Dustin and I had like gone full bore into like writing like a metalcore EP. Like we had like 3 or 4 songs like done. Ready to go. It was like, which ended up being like Eternalites,
Claptrap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we stole fucking Spread of Skepticism from his brother. And made it cooler.
Shout out Derek.
Yeah. Shout out Derek. Anyways, but yeah, so we came to you and we were like, yo, we got riffs, like scream bitch. And then
was that what it was? You guys
I think
recruited me because you knew that
I
was doing
but
vocals?
that was where you were a package deal with Cody.
Right.
And you made me kick him out.
Did I?
You did.
Oh.
You did because you couldn't do it yourself.
I couldn't bear to do it.
Yeah, I know, and it's fine. But it was like I love Cody to death, but like.
Well, I mean, it just wasn't. It wasn't. Well, it was like at that time we were like, let's be like Proofread and have 3 guitarists, and it wasn't.
It was never. It was pretty much just you.
No, that was my idea. Yeah, that was my idea, and then it just didn't work out because it's just. 3 is too many.
Well, not only that, but it's like I'm trying to teach riffs to somebody that
Well, I mean, it's just he just wasn't on that level technically.
Yeah, you know what I mean, granted, like I was again, I was.
But it was hard because him and I were spending hours together, writing music. You know what I mean? And when Andrew would go off and do his thing and not show up to band practice, he would leave his drum set there, and so I would be playing drums with Cody, and we had like 5 songs that were like as deathcore. They would bop right now, honestly. Like if they came back right now, I wish I could remember them as frames for bystander songs.
No, I remember hearing some of your guys' shit because like we would like combine practices, and like you and Cody would do your thing, and then we would show you ours.
When we got the bongo room, or no, Garrett's basement.
No, out of your fucking middle room, dude.
Oh yeah, upstairs. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, it just kind of naturally happened over all these years of knowing each other, and it's so weird. It's so weird the way it works.
Yeah,
because now we've seen the whole country.
We finally got it all together. We had Derek Harris on bass.
Harris, shout out Derek Harris. That's funny.
Yeah, and then we got that show with Volumes, and that was like Volumes' first tour on Concept.
It was
Dreaming.
Volumes, Kingdom of Giants, and us, and some other local bands.
Yeah,
I think, and it was just them co-headlining with like a couple local bands. There was like that For Today churchy band because it was at a church. We played with Volumes. Oh, this is a great story,
dude.
We played. So this goes into. So we might as well just go into this thing I wrote down. I want to do a thing with you. I just decided this morning.
Okay.
Our first show and our last show that we just played. Like compare first show and last show.
Let's talk about Spokane, but yeah.
I mean, sure, Spokane. I mean, Seattle was good, but
Seattle was great.
Yeah,
but Spokane was
first show and last shows.
Yeah.
How about that? But our first show was in Camas, Washington,
at a church coffee shop.
It was called Coffee Revolution. And it was a little coffee shop in the front, and then you go in the back, and there's this unnecessarily large room where there's a stage, and it just was never gonna work out. It was never.
It was like I feel like they were trying to get like a worship show kind of vibe going. Like,
and then they were like, "Fuck, we need to pay the bills."
The wall behind the stage was just like praise him,
the Lord.
Dude, it was hilarious. But
I bet you we could find those videos.
My dad has them all
watch them. They're on Vimeo,
dog. Yeah.
Oh, the secret Vimeo archive.
Yeah,
we could pull them up in a minute and watch them if you want. I don't care.
I mean,
it's pretty funny.
We can keep those secret.
We can keep those secret too. It's fine. We can actually subscribe to our OnlyFans.
Well, I mean, if
subscribe to our OnlyFans, and you can watch. That's what we'll do for the band's OnlyFans. Is you can watch our cringy old live performances that we have archived.
I'm gonna go out there and say, like, I look good that night because I did look good. I had super long hair and I was headbanging like a motherfucker. You had the
unfair 4 years of stage presence.
Yeah,
and we had 0 years.
You had the Parkway Drive tank, and
I had, and I quote, I had America mid-top skate shoes that looked like Nike Dunks, and they were maroon, blue, and yellow. And then I had maroon pants on.
Yep.
Must have been all about maroon, I guess. And then I had a white triple XL, some way oversized.
Yeah, Parkway
Drive tank that had neon green font and said Parkway Drive on it. It was the worst outfit ever. And you were just like chilling it in some cargo pants.
Yeah, I was doing my cargo pants thing, and I had the Animals as Leaders shirt on.
The green Animals as Leaders.
Yeah.
One. Same one as the promos. We actually another funny one for the chat. Little funny thing is that we once did a band photo shoot in which 3 of the 5 of us were wearing Veil of Maya t-shirts, and we didn't realize until like 5 years later. Like 5 years later, we're like looking at look at these old pictures, and we're like,
we all have Bomb shirts on.
Except we all have Veil of Maya shirts on, except for you and Dustin.
Yeah, me and Dustin didn't. Yeah, because I had the Animals Leader shirt on.
Garrett and Derek.
Yeah. Yeah, and Dustin had like I don't even know what shirt he had.
Shout out Mark.
Yeah.
Thanks for the shirts. No, but it's just crazy how, I met you when you were 4 years old. I just think that's cool. That's just cool.
Yeah.
Cool story, dude.
It's
because I met you when you were 4
it's
and
next,
I was
it's
6.
next to unheard of as far as like being in a band goes.
Right.
And
kind of being in a band, we magically ended up, because we were such different people when we were growing up. I mean,
yeah, we all had different avenues and stuff, and we all just kind of like met at
some
a certain point.
We bonded through music.
Convalesced.
We bonded through the tunes, through the metal. And that's just fucking dope.
Yeah.
What do you, so our first show versus our last show, that show with Volumes, Kingdom of Giants was our first show at the Christian coffee shop. And then what happened there?
Let me tell that story. So, so we played our set. It was all cool. Then the other bands played their set. Kingdom of Giants slayed it, blah, blah, blah. We went out to Volumes' van. We're all like 16 or 17. They're all like 18 or 19.
Yeah.
We're all
drinking.
They're drinking.
Partying,
we're
smoking.
Hitting bong rips in the back of their van and shit.
Yeah. They had the bong in the van for sure.
Yeah, and again, I'm pretty sure it was their first tour Volumes.
It was their first tour, for sure.
Yeah. So anyways, we were all ripping that shit. And then Volumes played, and because, Michael Barr tends to
party,
use cuss words.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they all do, yeah.
Yeah, so, but that was the thing.
Him and Gus were just being Volumes.
Being that it was a Christian church coffee shop, they shut him down at a moment. They
tried to say no swearing for any bands.
In between songs, they would be like, hey, you better stop that swearing shit, or we're gonna cut
fuckers.
We're gonna cut the motherfucking mics.
Listen, you sacrilegious motherfuckers.
Yeah.
You better stop that swearing shit right now.
Yeah, open this no swearing pit up. But yeah, so they warned him like 2 or 3 times, and then Mike Barr was like ready to fucking fight or some shit.
I remember how mad Mike Barr was.
Yeah, no, and so he
threw his mic.
It was in the middle of like through the trees or something. It was one of their it was like during a breakdown when he just like goes in on something, and they fucking cut both mics, him and Gus. They cut both mics, and Mike Barr dropped his mic, and like ran down off the stage and started screaming at the sound guy, like being like, when you're dead, you die, you go in the ground. God is fucking not real. Fuck you. And he was like ready to fucking fight this sound dude.
remember that.
And the sound dude was like a glasses wearing, like, I like coffee and Christ kind of looking motherfucker.
He was in like a For Today wannabe For Today band. Like
was he? I just remember him looking like a fucking nerd.
His band, I do too. But his band played. They opened that show.
Oh, that's what it was. No, we opened and they played after us.
Yeah, and it was their first show, and it was yeah. And we shredded. And I want to say Ocean
spread
Bears
of
was on that
skepticism
show because Brighton and all those guys were there. I want to say they played.
I think they did. That might have been like
their first show too, or
the
something.
Start of our. No,
I don't think so.
We had already hung out with them a couple times at Bongo, but
it was weird.
Yeah,
it was weird. But yeah.
Anyway, so that's the first show. We saw Mike Barr almost fight a fucking sound guy. That was sick.
They called the cops.
Yeah.
On Mike Barr. And Mike Barr, I just look over because I was like, "What's going on?" And I found out.
I was like in the pit.
I figured out what happened
yeah.
like super late. But I look over and Mike Barr is like, like he's got the sound guy by his fucking shirt. He's like holding him up, like, "Oh, fucking kick your ass." Diego, rest in peace. He's trying to fucking like pull Mike off of the set, like try not to get in trouble.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so funny.
Good times,
and then you compare that to like, I think we kind of ripped it up for our first set though.
It was cool. Yeah,
I think we did okay.
Yeah, we did okay. We rushed like a motherfucker, but
playing those songs so fast.
Yeah, we did everything.
No click track.
Maybe 30 or 40 BPM faster than we should have, but whatever.
Yes, I love it.
But yeah, and then compare that to our last shows. I mean,
we are fucking. I got to speak for both of us right now. For all of us, we are fucking lubed right now.
Yeah.
Like, even with very little practice, because we got home from tour in like October, didn't really practice that much until like a week or two before the I Declare War shows.
Yeah.
But man, like when I got back in the practice room after those,
as long as we're all like tour, stay on our chops, like it's.
But I mean, after that tour, it's like
just gotta lock it in.
We just got the sauce. It's just I feel good.
Yeah,
I feel good like every time now doing that because we've never done something like that before.
Well,
that
not only that, but I mean,
we'll
after
talk
like
about that too, but.
After like 2.5 years of not really doing any, or like I guess it was only a year and a half for us.
We stayed jamming though.
Yeah, we stayed jamming, but like we didn't stay like on stage,
Right.
And nobody did.
Right.
So like that year and a half, like I feel like a lot of bands, when they finally get back to it, even if they did practice for 3 months straight before the tour, they're going to have that like, oh yeah, this is what being on stage feels like, and it's
the butterflies.
It's not even so much butterflies. It's just like growing, like aches,
Sure.
Like of just like I forgot what it's like to
flex these muscles.
Yeah, exactly.
Figuratively and real and
for really,
and actually
for really,
for realsy.
Yeah, my neck muscles, bro. First week of tour was not a fun time.
It's a different reality doing it every night.
Yeah, but
we did it after the I Declare War show in Portland, the first one of those 3. I was like, ooh.
Yeah,
I was like stiff from that. I was like, oh, goddamn.
Yeah, and then Spokane happened, and we were just.
But yeah, Portland, Spokane, both sold out.
Yeah,
so much fucking fun.
Good time,
Our
man.
only
Spokane
sold out
was
show
fucking
at home.
wild, dog.
Spokane was super wild.
I love that fucking town.
I'm
those kids
scared
go
of
hard.
that town.
I love it for that.
I love it, but I'm also scared of it. It's a mixture.
Yeah, I remember it was like right before the second band went on that night. I was like out in the van, like changing or something. I'm just changing, dog.
It's like a big warm hug that will also punch you in the face.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is like I was changing, dog, and
changing into your show clothes.
Yeah, I was jerking off.
I was changing, dog.
I was changing, dog. No, I was actually changing. But this dude comes out, and I just hear, like, I'm in the van. The van has no soundproofing. You can hear everything. I just hear this guy walking down from the show, and he's just screaming, like, fuck me, fuck this guy. And I'm like, oh, shit, like, something went down. And then I look over, and he's, like, got his hand in his face, and it's just, like, leaking blood.
Dude.
Leaking blood. I'm like, oh, Spokane tonight.
Dude, 5 minutes into our set, or 5 seconds into our set, Spokane, this poor girl in the front. She was sweet. I talked to her.
Right.
I'm going to preface this with, I talked to her afterwards, and she was like, "You guys are awesome. Everything was cool." I felt really bad during the set when I saw it happen. I called it out. I was trying to get her to get picked up. You did
your due diligence.
I did my due diligence
for sure. More than anybody else in the genre.
More than a lot of people are gonna. More than the band before us did, because people got knocked around for that band.
That was the band
Manifesto or whatever. That was violent.
Yeah.
But any vocalist that comes out and he goes, "It's clobbering time." That's what he said. I was just like, "Oh no!" Shit.
Yeah,
and it was clobbering time.
Yeah, no, because that kid, that like the guy who was like leaking from his face. Apparently, I was talking to the homies from the first band or whatever. They were like friends with that dude, and they were outside like doing one of these while the guy just paced back and forth, bleeding all over the sidewalk.
Yeah, I think there was a fight that happened. I think that was part of the fight.
I think that's what it was. Yeah, because like homie's nose got like fucking
sketch.
Yeah, not a good time.
But anyway, right when we bust into our set, I'm like vibing, I'm having fun. I'm like, this crowd is wild. And then I look over and I watch in slow motion, like UFC 271. I watch in slow motion. This poor girl takes one right to the noggin, just right to the cranial, right here. And she just goes and buckles.
Limp fish.
Buckles.
Well, no, and then she hit her head on the fucking stage, dude.
Dude, oh, did she?
She buckled and then hit her head on the stage as she went down.
Oh, no, I didn't see that.
Yeah, she was done, dude.
I'm so glad she was okay. She was like, everybody comes over to her, like a crowd of people, like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And I was like, "Hey, somebody get this girl some help. Somebody get this girl." I'm not trying to catch that Travis Scott clout. I don't need that negative.
Don't need none of that shit.
I don't need the negative. Like, he didn't stop the show. And so I'm like thinking about that. I'm worrying about this girl being okay. I'm trying to look good and have a good time on stage still. I'm managing things right now.
Yeah.
We're putting out fires at this point. And so I'm like, "Hey, somebody get this girl some help. Somebody get this girl some help." The band doesn't miss a beat. They're killing it. I'm just like, I think it magically happened at a part where
it was like the end of Rat.
I didn't have vocals. I wasn't.
It was like the end of Rat, and like we just like kind of finished the song.
I didn't miss any parts. I was just like, "Hey, help this girl," and then I saw her too, and it was like she woke up, and there was like a crowd of people. Imagine he knocked the fuck out, and you don't know what happens, and then you wake up, and you're in a loud concert. And there's like all these people around you. She just starts going, "Get the fuck off of me!" And like starts like swinging at people. And I talked to her later. She said her glasses fell off, and she said she woke up from being knocked out, and she saw her glasses right there, like about to get stepped on. And her first survival instinct was to get those glasses. She was like, "Get the fuck away from me! I need to get my glasses." And I was like, right
good
on
her.
She was on point, dude. Shout out to her.
What a fucking trooper.
Whoever that was that got knocked out in Spokane, we love you. Thank you for being a fucking rally. And she went outside, fucking took a deep breath,
and
then spit out some blood and came back in and fucking partied.
Yeah,
and that's how Spokane.
She was like literally a song later. I saw her in the pit doing the exact same shit. I'm like, fucking Spokane, man.
And then I good guyed and was like, "Let's just mosh and have a good time and not punch each other." And then it was like a vibe.
Yeah,
it was a vibe.
Yeah, but there was still punching. But
there was still some punching.
You can't tell them not to.
I mean, I'm not here to tell people not to punch people in the mosh pit. But let's have a good time. You know what I mean?
We're not here to hurt each other.
Right. But that was fun, man. Those shows are fun.
Yeah, it was a good time.
I'm excited.
IDW was fucking. They're legendary, man.
They're such goats. Yeah. Jamie's just such a fucking awesome
dude. Just
person.
like, and also after having hung out with him for 3 days or whatever, like seeing Jamie just like all bundled up and just like normal, just.
Oh, he's such a quiet guy.
Yeah, exactly.
He's such a sweet,
and
then
he just like character mode, like straight on stage,
Jekyll and Hydes, dude. It's
his eyeballs just like bursting out of his head.
Werewolf shit. Jekyll and Hyde.
Straight up. Yeah, no, it's dope.
It's insane.
It's cool to see that too.
I'm excited to do more support slots. I feel like that was like, if we can just nail a tour with like Traders or Spite or like one of these bands, like I just think we'll be such a good support band for them. Like we're just
I think so, yeah.
We'll get there though. And it might take doing a couple more on our own or whatever, but
yeah,
I don't care. I just love being in the van playing music with you guys.
I don't care who we're doing it for.
What do you think was like one of the best cities what was your what's the most fun like you've had? What was the best city on tour? Let's take that, because we went and did the whole country, in pretty much everywhere you could. In
what regard though? Like the city itself or the show, or because like
I guess fucking both. Give me your best, the most fun you had being in a place. And then if they're not the same thing,
we'll top five them. We'll top five.
Sure, in no order.
Yeah. I mean, Chicago was fucking awesome. That was
fun.
A super vibe.
It was so fun.
It wasn't packed out or anything.
It was
but
packed though. It was packed enough.
It was there was people there. Yeah,
it was packed. Dude.
But yeah, I mean,
it was good. It was packed. The locals,
and it was also the people who were there were.
It was good.
Good to hang out with them. But
yeah,
that, and then I mean, I fucking hated driving in New York, but that show was fucking dope.
That show was a standout.
That
Shout
show
out to
was
Capra.
fucking dope. And seeing
Capra saved our ass.
Yeah, seeing homies that live out there and stuff.
Our buddy Jared we all went to
Cooper,
elementary school with. He lives out there in
shit.
New York.
Yeah, that was
now,
a good time. And everything else that we did that night. But then, I mean, after that, what? I mean, Georgia was cool because
Cincinnati was a vibe.
Cincinnati fucked.
Shout out Infurious.
Yeah,
I love that band.
Yeah, that was a hard fucking night. That was a sick room too, man.
It was so big. And
that was
crazy.
Such a sick room, and it was like
and
actually
Kaunashi was cool. Shout out Kaunashi.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was dope. That was definitely
there was a good amount of people at that show too. That was
so in the midst of tour at that.
It was
point
like
that
dead center.
I was really feeling like gross and like it was really rainy for like 6 days, and I was just like everything's wet.
Yeah,
everything
and then like
I own is wet,
and the debauchery that happened that night too.
Yeah, it was chaos, but it was a really fun show.
It was good.
What
chaos.
else was fun? I liked being in Florida. The show was rather shot.
I mean, waking up after 2 hours of sleep at Daytona was
cool,
pretty cool.
And we ate that brunch at the fucking shitty dive bar. Yeah, that was fun. That was super.
Yeah,
fun.
it was fucking gross, and I felt terrible, but it was a good time. Orlando was just. It's better to go there on vacation.
It's better to go to Disneyland.
Yeah.
And stay in a resort probably.
Yeah, stay in a fucking 13-bedroom house or whatever with a Valhalla table and a fucking enclosed pool. But anyways,
is that what you did?
Yeah. That's what family did last time. But
we'll go back. We'll go back to Florida. Next time we go back to Orlando.
I want to go to Tampa, man.
Next time we go back to Orlando, we'll play at a different venue, and like Keem will be there. It'll be better.
Yeah.
It was a rough night. I think it was like a Monday or something. It was a weeknight.
Well, yeah, and that giant show was happening in Tampa the same night.
I don't know how far away from Tampa Orlando
It's 2.5 hours.
Okay, you're very geographical, so I just trust exactly what
I also have been to Florida plenty of times and know the drive distances, but
you're very geographical. You're always.
Where are we going? Let me see the map. Let me look at the map.
Well, actually,
let me see the map.
But so that was cool. I mean, Texas as a whole.
I don't even want to talk about it right
and that's fine.
I love it. Next. No, it's okay. The Texas just doesn't count because it's
day off
our
in Halloween.
hometown.
Halloween in Nashville. That wasn't a show.
Halloween in Nashville.
That wasn't a show. That wasn't a show, but like that was a fucking night, dude.
Did we not live enough for like 5 lifetimes on tour? Like we did enough shit.
It was like a month and a half.
It was so much fun. We had a day off in Austin before we even played Austin.
Yeah,
that
and
was
that's
so
when
crazy fun.
And that's when we did the Tony Hinchcliffe. And
went to Kill Tony. We went to Barton Springs. Went to Terry Black's. That's what you call the trifecta, the Monday trifecta.
Yeah,
magically got Kill Tony tickets. That was so much fun. I'll never forget that.
Yeah, Ron
Wright was there.
Yeah,
that was so sick.
Juan Wright, dude.
Austin, I love you. If anybody from Austin, Texas is here, I fucking love Austin.
Also,
so
our
much.
Bassist Austin put his name in the hat for that Kill Tony show.
He was so close.
He was so ready.
The guy right next to him got it, dude.
He had some fucking zingers lined up.
I know. We won't ruin his jokes for him.
Yeah,
but he'll get to tell him someday. But yeah, Austin was definitely probably one of the best shows on the whole tour.
Yep,
definitely the standout Texas state.
Yeah, I was tired and like not feeling it for the Corpus show, but that show Corpus always fucks.
I love the people in Corpus Christi.
Yeah, they're all just go hard like they're like the Spokane of Texas.
Yes,
you know,
that is a great way to put it.
Yeah,
a bunch of people going hard in kind of a somewhat remote kind of city.
Yeah,
dude, absolutely.
Yeah,
and I think Spokane, and I've said this before privately, but I'll say it publicly that like I think. And I'm sorry, Portland. I'm sorry, Seattle. I don't know about Tacoma as much. We played there once. It wasn't great. Maybe
basically
it pops
Seattle.
off. But Spokane is the best for heavy music. For the music that we do, it's the best music scene in the Northwest for sure, hands down, bar none.
It's really inclusive.
Maybe even on the West Coast.
I wouldn't go that far.
But I don't know. I mean, we haven't played a lot of Cali shows.
There are like Sacktown.
It's one of the coolest scenes in America. After going all through the whole states, Spokane is a standout, dude.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You wouldn't think because it's like kind of a random city. You know what I mean? Like in the scheme of things.
Well, it's because they're a big enough city, but they're also far enough removed from like any major thoroughfare. You know, like I mean, Seattle going to like. When we were
it's a detour from everywhere.
When we were going from Seattle to Salt Lake, like we went under Spokane. We didn't go through it.
We should have played Spokane.
I would have loved to.
Right.
But if we had, if the roads and the geographical, if it goes through Spokane, then that would make sense that like that's more of a hub for shit. But it's like the quickest way to get from Seattle to even Boise or Salt Lake is like down back onto 84. You know.
Right.
So it just doesn't make sense that like Spokane's kind of like a polyp up here, you know.
You're so geographical.
But it because of that, I feel like it's still a big enough city. It's just not on the way in between enough of the other big cities that it like kind of has this weird, you know.
It has like it's like a pit stop.
Yeah.
It's like a
it's a detour.
It's a detour.
It's a detour, and when it happens, it fucking happens.
Oh, it fucking happens.
But in any case, yeah. So, what else? We got the Texas shows out. Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
Clarksville was cool. I mean, it was
cool.
It was just cool hanging out with the Tennessee folks.
We got fucked up.
Yeah.
Too fucked up, but it was fun.
Yeah, that was one of my power bomb.
Yeah, I think like Chicago, Austin,
New York,
Jersey. Had a lot of fun in Jersey, man.
Yeah, Jersey was sick.
People talk shit about New Jersey, man.
That was the first night of our fucking technical difficulties,
though,
so I feel weird about it.
Dude, but even that, you throw that in there. Go ahead and throw it in, I'll take it.
Yeah.
It was still a fucking awesome show.
It was a banger, yeah.
It was still an awesome show. Oklahoma was sick. Honestly,
Tulsa,
there was so much.
Dude, Tulsa was like that. Tulsa's also like Spokane.
You know what? Yeah, it is. You know what? What tour taught me, I think, is that most of the country's fucking sick. Yeah. That's what tour taught me, and it was overall like a positive thing for me. And I feel like, I don't know if it's just Portland or it's just social media or if it's just the news, but we get into this thing where we're like, you know,
fuck that part or fuck this part.
It's like we're just like in general, like America's life sucks, right? Like that's what they're selling us on social media is that fucking life sucks and it's shitty, everything's shitty and America's shitty. But the tour gave me a lot of hope that like fucking most of the country's goddamn tight.
Yeah.
And most people in most places are fucking rad. And I don't mean to be Mr. Positive Polly, but that's genuinely if I had a different experience and everywhere sucked and everybody was rude everywhere, I would be real about it and say, you know what, tour kind of taught me that everything is fucked.
Straight up, the only place that I experienced like people that weren't really a good time to be around was, I mean, St. Louis, you know. And that was just the venue staff.
Yeah, the people, you know? The people. I mean, you got to let them know because there might be people from St. Louis that are listening. It's like the people in St. Louis were awesome.
Yeah,
but it's the
absolutely.
Venue staff. It was honestly rough for us coming from wherever we came from before that didn't give a shit about COVID. And then you come to this place that's so psychopathic about it.
It wasn't even so much the COVID stuff. It's just like the way that they like. If they were just like, "Hey man, like, let me see." But like the guy was like a fucking asshole about it.
Yeah, that guy was rude. I'm gonna give him some credit. He did lighten up towards the end of the night.
And it was also like that venue was like way too big for our show.
Right.
So they're used to like huge fucking tours coming through. So I could also tell that they were like, I don't even know why I'm working tonight kind of vibe.
But at the same time, it's like the people in that industry I used to work in that industry. I used to work stages at the Hawthorne. I used to work the door. You should be appreciative anytime that the fucking doors are open.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
After all that shit.
And to be honest, if I wasn't there in that city at that night playing that fucking show, it was a Wednesday or some shit.
Your doors are closed.
They probably wouldn't have made any money.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that the venue probably lost money or broke even on our show. We actually had a good amount of people there. It was too much of a big room. It was like a huge cap room. Like Chelsea Grin played the next couple of days after us.
Yeah.
And it was right in the mix of like an Attila, Chelsea Grin, and Volumes tour. Like 3 different tours were coming in, and we were on that Wednesday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But so all these variables, but it was just like, you should be nice to your touring act. Like, that's bullshit. Like, you know what I mean? I've worked for nobody bands where I had to suck their dick and be nice to them and fucking go to the grocery store for them and nobody was there for them. But I still was. I was working, so I was respectful. You know, but
exactly.
It was disrespectful the way.
That's it.
And you know what?
It wasn't even like, I don't care if you do or don't like us, dude. Like, just don't be a fucking dick.
Kenny from Dead Crown told me a story, which I'll tell. I mean, he didn't want to talk about the tour and stuff on the podcast just because of everything that went down.
Yeah, I get it.
But he told me that get them shoes off, pop them suckers out.
Fuck the Chucks, dude.
Boom.
Fuck the Chucks.
Yeah, fuck them, dude. Take them off. Sign up for Blaine's OnlyFans. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, dude. I take my shoes off.
He takes his shoes off. No, but Kenny had a similar story. He was like, yeah, St. Louis. He goes, fuck that place. And he goes, I hadn't slept he was like, I was sleeping on the couch of the bandwagon because he didn't get a bunk.
No, yeah, I remember the story.
He was like, there was a couch downstairs, and I was like, I know that fucking couch. Yep. I know that exact couch.
It was through the door that we weren't supposed to load in.
Yeah, it was right there.
Yeah.
And he was like, I laid down on that couch to try to get a wink of sleep. And they go up to the tour manager. They go, tell your boy you can't fucking sleep there. And this is like 5 hours before doors.
Yeah.
Like, leave him alone, dude.
Yeah.
Let him fucking sleep there. So, Red Flag, cool venue. The people in St. Louis, the scene, the band. We played with a band called Hard Graves. Shout out Hard Graves. I really fuck with that band. They played right before us. They were the super heavy act that played right before us.
Yeah.
All the bands were sick, honestly. Well, there was the headless guitar stock guy, and he even sounded good. Their band sounded good.
Yeah.
But they jumped on the show like last minute. I forget what their band was called at the moment. I'm sorry.
I mean, we played with like 125 bands.
Hey, but shout out Hard Graves from St. Louis. They fucking showed up and I do love the scene. I can see I could see having a great show. And we did have a great show for what we had. It was just it was a decent amount of people in a very large room. You know what I mean?
Another thing that kind of soured that night was the first time the van stalled on me. That night on our way to Tulsa.
Was it?
Yep, that was when we first started having van issues.
Oh, okay.
And then we made it all the way to outside of Austin. Like we drove another fucking 1,000 miles before we figured that shit out.
But it's because we changed that air filter and that air filter didn't fit.
Yeah.
That's what we found out. That's why in Austin it started to die all the time because the air filter was fucked up.
Well, it was that and also
the computer issue.
There was that and then the whatever. The intake of it got all gunky and they had to clean the whole system, blah blah.
Right.
But that was another thing that just we were driving away from that venue and there was a fucking basketball game going on or some shit.
Which is to say that there's a lot of variables going on tour. So your depiction of how fun a city was can be very skewed by
we had a shitty night regardless of the show.
Did the van fuck up?
Yeah.
Did you eat?
Yeah.
How much have you been drinking?
Were you hungover?
How many hours have you slept recently?
Yeah.
There's all these different variables, which is hilarious. But
and in all of those cases, it's always fucked. No matter what on tour. But you have a good time anyways.
What do you think is your favorite place that we've ever played ever? In 10 years of playing music together. What do you think is your favorite? And I'm going to say, I guess, favorite would have to be favorite crowd, favorite show. Home doesn't count because sometimes we've had good shows here.
I wouldn't even say that.
It's more fun.
I love when we have good Portland shows and I love all the people that we have here and everything, but
it's more like a reunion of sorts.
Exactly, and
get together.
Yeah,
it's a family get together. It's a different animal. It's a different thing. When you go to some city where
it's
you've
like a
never
friendship
been,
rager.
Yeah, when you go to some city you've never been,
and I see all those people that I have. Who the fuck are you?
And they're wearing our merch.
Going in,
that's
so a different feeling,
weird.
But so I would
New
say
York.
Spokane.
Okay, yes.
Spokane's a big one.
Especially this last time was
but even the last few times that we've been there, it's just nothing but fucking camaraderie and love and just it's a good time. And Ryan Levy, shout out.
Oh, I love him so
dude,
much.
He is such a good guy.
I need to get him on the podcast.
Yeah,
I want him to come. I'm gonna write that shit down.
Yeah.
Let me get Ryan. Ryan, if you're listening, you're next, bitch.
Yeah. But yeah, Spokane, just as far as us regionally goes here, as far as California goes,
Zach. It's been really good to us.
I liked San Diego a lot.
San Diego was cool. Yeah,
I like San Diego. I mostly because we got like the dopest FOH dude in the game.
Oh yeah, and one of the best bands, one of the most fun bands that opened for us on the tour was there.
Yeah,
that Shawshank band.
Yeah,
I love that. Yeah,
band.
With the shout out Ryan.
Yeah, and there was another
Andrew,
one. There was another one. The
homies in Shawshank. Everybody check out Shawshank on if you can find them on. It's a dope ass band called Shawshank. They have a song on YouTube with Frankie Palmieri from Amir in it. And they're just a very sick band. I love that band. I want to tour with that band. I think they're so interesting. It's like Spite meets 12-Foot Ninja meets Thank You Scientist to me.
Yeah,
it's
and that whole show itself was also just like a really good vibe.
It was really fun.
And also again, like the FOH dude, he's like he's
Cal Decap's guy.
Cal
Did you
Decap's
see him?
No, I didn't. But like I talked to Rumble at our show 3 days later, and he's like, "Yeah, I was talking to the Cattle Decap fucking FOH guy."
Like, oh, I love that guy.
And yeah, he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm doing Bystander in a couple days." He's like, "Oh yeah, I remember that." Well, so
Oh, cool. Okay, so he remembers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was like, "Yeah, they were cool."
Guy.
Yeah, dude, he was my favorite sound guy of the whole tour.
Yes.
Partly because I would sound check with Battle Against Time by Wintersun, and he was the only sound guy in the entire country who was like, "I'll make you sound really good if you teach me that riff."
Nice.
I was like,
hell yeah,
my fucking guy.
Nice.
My fucking guy.
A sound guy that loves Wintersun.
Yeah, no, and he's super vibes. But anyways, so that San Diego was sick.
Best place though, favorite place we've ever played music together.
Dude, bro, what the fuck?
I know, but that's why we're here to answer the hard questions, not just the easy ones. Texas, dude.
Tejas.
Austin, Texas. When we played, let's talk about those shows.
Austin, Texas was sick. Lubbock was fucking sick. Like that real West Tex, dude.
Dude, that
real
Texas,
West Tex.
That West Texas wind, baby. That shit is strong.
Dude, Lubbock was
cold.
Sick.
You guys are legends. Lubbock is sick as fuck. And it's funny, you see all the big bands.
Arlington was cool because I met that fucking Isak Poon kid.
Shout out
Nepalese guitarist, dude. Yeah, Instinct.
The homies in Instinct.
Yeah, that was the first time that any band that had opened for us was playing through a Kemper, and his tone fucking shit all over ours.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, fuck.
They were cool. They shut the venue down with us. Like, they stayed there and drank with us and stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, shout out that venue, but that show was rough.
It was a little bit, yeah. That one band with
when you're looking at
with the big lights,
bro. And I don't
big lights, no drummer, three vocalists.
I'm not gonna name any names or anything because I don't want to. I'm not.
We're not here to talk shit.
But if you've got, I'm seeing this thing happen more and more where bands are like, let's play a show, dude. We've got some songs. Let's play a show. And they've got a guitarist. And they've got a vocalist, and they've got a bass player.
And they've got another vocalist and maybe another vocalist.
But what don't they have? They don't have a drummer. And here's the thing. To me personally, call me old school, okay?
Yeah.
But to me personally, having a drummer is a prerequisite to, hey, let's play a show, right? You can't get a job without a resume. I feel like part of the resume is having a drummer. Like in metal, in music, that requires a band. Like if you're a hip hop artist, you don't need a drummer. But please, if you don't have the drummer yet, just keep practicing. And
it's
don't
mostly
book the show without the drummer,
the way that
Am I wrong for that?
No, you're not. You're not, in my opinion.
It's weird.
But me trying to rationalize that side of, the view is that they probably think that, because we can program guitars, we can program bass, we can program drums. Drums are expendable.
Right.
So like they don't necessarily, and also if it's programmed, it's perfect. So, but like it sucks the life out of it for me, and again, call us old school.
It's so impossible to watch with almost any respect. And I'm just saying that really. Like I respect you for getting up there and trying, but at the same time I'm almost mad at you.
Like go back to the drawing board real quick and
wait. Get the drummer. Wait. And the thing is I feel I don't want to shit on bands that do this too much because I feel like where their heart is at is they want to show that they're so hardworking that they'll work through such a big obstacle and they'll still play the show even though they don't have like an integral part. They don't care because they need to get out there and want to. But this is
I get the get out there, but it takes away from the show in such a way that it doesn't sound as good, even if it's programmed perfectly. You don't get the trigger, the kick,
and you don't get
the rim shot in your face when you're sitting up front. Like it takes everything out of it.
And there's something
all the wind
too.
out of the sails.
I think playing to a drum track, you're playing to drums that are too perfect. It doesn't sound real. So when you're experiencing live music, you're experiencing something that's real, and raw, and human, and that's why we go do it.
Yeah.
But it's like when you're watching somebody play to live drums, you're like the most human thing about.
I'm watching a YouTube cover video.
Yeah, and it's almost like if you think about it, like guitar, there's a lot of processing, there's a lot of the tone, there's a lot of you know what I mean, and the samples, right? So there's a lot about a live performance that's not necessarily human, but drums might be the most human. It's hitting a thing. It's fucking
hitting skins,
there.
Dude. You're hitting skins.
Fucking there, dude. And you're hitting a thing, and it's like you're missing that. We're not getting the hitting the thing.
The boof of the tom.
And it's like I want to give it's an A for effort thing. Like, good job getting out there, but I think it does what these bands will find is it hurts you because you become the band with no drummer. And they're like, oh, it's that band with no drummer. And it's like, fuck. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to call anyone out, but at the same time...
maybe that's just our way of thinking about it.
It could be, and maybe it's a new age thing. Maybe, I don't get it.
Maybe
we saw a lot of it on tour, and it was just like...
Maybe we're just old now, dude.
Maybe I'm just old and weird. But it's like something about it's not the same, and I feel like it hurts your brand as a band. You know what I mean?
don't disagree.
But at the same time, I don't want to shit on anybody if that's the thing. But anyway, to go back to this Texas
I'm not going to yuck your yum.
The bummer part about it was that this band had no drummer, but they had 2 vocalists, and they had like a $7,000 light rig that just blinded you. It was like these giant strobes.
Like I literally went out to the van and got my sunglasses for their show. I literally got my sunglasses. I did.
You did not.
I did. I went out there, got my sunglasses, and walked right back in. And I walked up to Austin, looked at him, and I was like,
but does that not show your dedication to watching the local bands right there? Look at you, dude. That's a hero moment for you. Because you're like, hang on, I got to watch this local band. I'm going to go grab my shades.
Yeah.
Because I can't fucking handle this.
Yeah. And then even after like 15 or 20 minutes of that, I was like, okay.
And we've been a band for a decade, and we've never purchased a light rig. And I mean, maybe call me a fucking noob, but like get your band shit together before you get your light shit together.
I feel like light rigs,
you know what I mean?
Light rigs are like kind of on the same level as like scrims.
Scrims, like, be somebody before you have the light rig kind of thing.
And even scrims, it's like unless it's like a giant, massive stage backdrop, like don't fucking bother with your PVC.
Scrims are
with your
so
PVC
dead.
looking. Yeah, no, that was so 2009.
And to be honest,
man,
you know,
like
if you're still doing scrims,
more power to you.
More power to you, but I mean, I hope that you're a giant band if you're still doing fucking scrims. A backdrop is like the only acceptable thing anymore. If you're somebody.
If you're huge.
If you're
Lamb of God.
If you're big dickin'.
If you're Lamb of God. Or you're fucking...
Cattle. Anybody.
Yeah.
Anybody big. Black Dahlia.
Yeah.
Throw a backdrop. A big black one with just the logo.
And like
just
the one where it's like the flag that like unrolls.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
As you're about to go up.
They hoist it.
Yeah, they hoist the sails.
They hoist it. Yes.
Fucking pirate status.
Yes, Lubbock was sick though.
Lubbock was sick. Yeah,
Lubbock shout out Jake's.
Favorite place again. Like I don't know, man.
Austin just feels like it feels like playing at the Hawthorne, but like not at the Hawthorne. It just is so good. It feels like
I would agree.
It's just
Austin,
like a warm blanket, man.
Austin is probably the answer.
Yeah, probably.
Austin's probably the answer.
And let's talk about those shows. So in May of last year, it was still in Oregon, and I think most of the country, it was taboo to play a show.
Yeah, no, I remember we got called out by a lot of the
there was some low-key shit talking, like, we're not going to name names, but some bands are just going to Texas because they don't care.
COVID deniers.
I want you to know we saw your fucking comments, bitch. Shut your fucking mouth. No, I'm just kidding. But we see your
shit. We're
not
fucking COVID deniers. Listen, we were just itching to play a show, and we were able to.
If you're an old asshole, nobody, don't talk shit online because sometimes people see that. You know what I mean? I think that's a lesson. Don't be talking shit online, even if it's
we are.
What does Drake call it? What do the rappers call it? Sneak dissing. I see you sneak dissing me online.
Yeah.
And I know that you're upset that you don't have the money to ship your stuff across the country and go to Texas and play a show.
It's not the money.
Oh no, it's an ability thing. Nobody's booking their band. And so they're talking smack because we can get a show in Texas, and it was early, and we were ready to go. I went to Texas in March, and during St. Patrick's Day, and I saw fucking debauchery happen in Texas in the best way. Normal people partying hard. And so I fucking said, you know what? Metal kids deserve a slice of this. There's DJs playing fucking, and they can play their house music to hundreds of people. So we should be able to go out to Texas.
Keep going off. I'm going to grab some ice cubes.
We should be able to go off to Texas and play a fucking metal show. Like, we deserve our fucking share of the pie here. And this is March of last year, and that was right when Texas lifted the mask mandate. So I go over there in March, and I see this, and I'm like, okay, let's book a show. If we can't play I got it. If we can't play shows in Portland, then let's just fucking go to Texas. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then it's funny to see people, as soon as we book those shows, you see a couple choice people that are always talking shit about everybody. They're talking sneak dissing online about, some bands just don't care about COVID and they want to go to Texas. It's like, bitch, people in Texas don't care about COVID. That's why I want to go to Texas. It has nothing to do with what I think, you know? And so we booked these shows in Texas, and it was a fucking huge success. And we had so many friends. We made so many friends in Texas and so many new fans. And it was like, you know, and there was this added thing of like, we can't do this at home. I almost started tearing up on stage because I was like, we came all the way out here to play our first show back from COVID because we can't do this at home right now. And it's not socially acceptable. It's not allowed. And we just said, fuck it. We're going to pack our shit up and go to wherever we fucking can to play live music because that's what we want to do with our lives. And, you know, it was such a fun experience. Anybody that was there that's listening that was at those shows in Texas, or anybody that listens to this later that was at those shows in Corpus or in Austin, our first show back from COVID was on Cinco de Mayo of last year, May 5th. In Austin, Texas, at Come and Take It Live. Shout out to Skylar, my homie, for giving us a chance, taking a chance on a Wednesday and letting some band from Oregon fly out to Texas. Because, I mean, honestly, that shit changed my life in a way, and it showed me. Oh, he's got the shades on.
Shout out to Snakefather too.
Oh yeah, shout out to motherfucking Snakefather, dude. John, Alex.
Fucking
the whole gang, bro.
Ali Sally's, dude.
Ali Sally's. The whole gang put us on. If it wasn't for Snakefather, which is literal Texas royalty, man. Like Snakefather, Snakefather does not get the cred they deserve.
Yeah,
and,
no,
and they're working for it.
They are hardworking men.
They are hardworking men, and they make heavy, dope ass music.
Yeah.
And shout out Snakefather. I fucking love those guys. Without them, we wouldn't have been able to play our first shows back from COVID in fucking Texas. But yeah, I'm passionate about it because like, to see people giving you shit, it's just clear. Cheers, dude. It's so clear. Like, you're just upset that we decided to go do that and made it happen.
Yeah.
And it was like the clearest. Like, my mom always told me, like, well, they just making fun of me when I was a kid. They're just bullying you because they're jealous because you're a great kid or whatever. And it's like, whatever. But then you see something like that, and that is just inexplicably, there's nothing else you could explain that as just pure rotten jealousy that you're not going to Texas to play a show. You can try to fucking sit on a high horse and be like, I care about COVID more than you. But it's like,
which is what
matter.
It was.
That's what it was.
That was at least the guise of it, you know?
Right. That's what it was.
They care about the well-being of everyone else so much. But it's like, after everything that's come out since then, it's just like, dude, get back to regular life.
Leave your bubble and go look at what other people are doing. Because I went in March, everyone's fine. They want a metal show. So
Guess
that's
what?
why we went back in May, played a metal show, bitch, and it was great.
And we toured the entire nation in peak season
of Delta.
Yeah, and we're fine. None of us picked up anything, and all I was doing was spitting in random people's mouths for a whole month and a half.
Right. And other people spitting in my mouth.
Yeah.
Like, great set, dude.
Nice, dude. Let me shake your hand.
Hey, dude.
Yeah.
Great fucking set.
Into my ear, which is my fucking nasal cavity.
Just blowing particles all over me because nowhere else requires masks. But anyway, we're not here to talk about fucking COVID.
No, we are not.
You can go listen to the Joe Rogan podcast if you want to talk about COVID. We're not doing that here. Hang on a second.
Yeah.
But yeah. Favorite city, Blaine? Come on. Do you think it's Austin?
I mean, Austin, as far as just straight camaraderie and like the Hate Waker boys, like everyone that we met out there was just...
shout out Hate Waker.
Everyone we met out there is just like such homies, man.
That scene in that city is going places.
No, for real.
And I mean that for reals. Like there's so many...
Absolutely.
They don't talk about it enough, bro. The scene in Texas is wild. There's people out there making moves. Like... But yeah, I had a great.
But yeah, so I mean, maybe Austin. We need to hit him a couple more times before I have like a clear consensus. You know, this is all our first time out at like 90% of these fucking places.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't want to pass judgment on North Carolina yet.
Right.
You know.
Well, and I think that there's a lot of variables, dude. Like we hit a lot of these places on a fucking Monday.
Yeah, exactly.
How good is your show going to be when you're a nobody band on a Monday? Maybe if we were a big band on a Monday, maybe.
Yeah, but we weren't. So.
But or maybe if we're a nobody band on a Saturday, you know what I mean? Like it's all these balance beams, and then we could be a like kind of somebody band on like a Wednesday.
We ended up having really good Saturdays the whole time. So
I think every weekend was an absolute success.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about the band name, the original band name, because I have a different memory of this than you do.
Do you?
Maybe. Well, I don't know what my memory of it is really. I think I'm trying to piece it together. So as if you don't already know, for like 10 years, from 2011, 2010
to like
2018, it was December of 2018. We were called Sisyphean.
I thought it was 2017.
We were called Sisyphean Conscience.
Yeah.
And it's a mouthful. And we did our fucking best with that name, and we actually
good.
made waves.
We did good
we
with
made
it.
some great music, made
For
some
what
great
it was
merch, made a lot of great friends. I don't regret any of it, but at a certain point, it was just like the band name is too much, and why did we change the name?
Well, back to why I created that name. Like we had
why you created that name.
Well, no, it was you came up with like the
I think
thought
it was
of the
me and you though.
It was the Sisyphus thing, and I made it into an adjective, and then I realized like years later that Sisyphean is like an actual word that sometimes gets used once in a blue moon
by philosophers.
Yeah. But yeah, so it like I just thought it was. Just the boulder uphill, just like always struggling. Like
pushing. For people that don't know, there was a Greek story
about a guy named
tyrant
Sisyphus.
Sisyphus, and he would rape and murder and do all these horrible things. So Zeus banished him to purgatory in a place called Tartarus, where he would push a boulder up a mountain for all of eternity, and it would always slide down. It's
every
like the
time he
worst
got
punishment.
to the top, it would slide to the bottom, and he would have to start over.
And he would start over. Yeah. So a Sisyphean conscience for us was like a mind and constant struggle. That was the idea we had. Too wordy, too meaningful to sell to somebody in 15 seconds. You're going to lose people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people would see us and be like, this is fucking sick. I saw that band. It was Sisyphus.
Who are you?
And it's like they wouldn't remember the name. So at some point we decided,
which like for a long time I was salty about, because I was
too. I loved the name.
I was attached to it because like I thought it was way too heady.
It was our baby though.
But in any case, yeah. So I mean that's what it was. We were trying to not be one of the blank bands or the this of that bands.
Yeah.
So that's where I thought that like our band name was like
different.
It stood out.
It did.
But it stood out in the wrong way.
I wouldn't even say that. It just was a little bit of a tough sell. That's all. It's wordy. It's too hard to spell and say.
Yeah. And it didn't catch on. And
when the name really died for me was when I realized that we were pronouncing it wrong the whole time. Do you know about this? It's not Sisyphean.
Sisyphean?
It's Sisyphean. And I was like, I fucking hate that.
Yeah.
I fucking hate that. I'm not calling a Sisyphean conscience.
Yeah.
Never. Yeah. And so I realized like that we just were pronounced Sisyphean conscience was just wrong, and I was just like, this has to go. But then we were also writing like a couple, which we're gonna get to. I want to play some Kybalion stuff, some of your side project stuff, on the podcast because I think it's underappreciated, needs to be heard. But we started writing some stuff where it was like Sisyphean,
we were writing for the next Sisyphean album.
Right.
And Sisyphean album.
The original idea with the Sisyphean conscience, from how I remember it, was that we were going to play whatever we wanted to, and it was going to be a jambalaya of different.
We're going to write heavy stuff. We're going to write melodic stuff. We're going to write just whatever comes out of our brains.
And what happened was every song sounded like a different band, or like every other song.
But also, it was... That was kind of the thing. That was kind of the thing is that like it sounded like different genres, but it was still like as long as we recorded it all the same with the same tones and stuff, like it was still us. Yeah.
But then it got less and less like that with the new stuff. It kind of became more. I feel like stuff kind of separated.
Well, that was also when we brought John on, and John and I started writing together, and John and I started going like. Down.
So backing up, we played Summer Slaughter in 2012. At the Roseland Theater, which is like the bigger venue in Oregon.
And I forgot my guitar, and I had to use Dustin's Brothers Jackson and
he forgot his guitar for the biggest show ever.
The Between the Buried Me guitar tech restrung my guitar for me 5 minutes before we went on stage. Shout out to whoever the fuck that guy was.
Yeah, what a legend.
Saved my ass.
What a legend. But yeah,
restrung a Floyd in 5 minutes, and I fucking
wanted to kiss him on the lips.
Dude, I did.
Thank you. No, but
surprised I didn't get kicked out.
We played Summer Slaughter, and Dustin, I'm sorry to fucking, throw you under the bus like this, but the next day after Summer Slaughter, we got a Facebook message that was like, guys, I can't be in the band anymore. Like, me and my girlfriend are, too serious or whatever. Whatever his reasoning was, he just can't devote the time to it. And it was definitely like, sometimes your homie is off in girlfriend land and not thinking clearly, and that was what happened. We love Dusty. We're good friends with him to this day. Everything's great.
I rember, for the record, Dusty, Cannonade the Asylum. I remember that shit.
Oh, is Dusty in here right now?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
For the record, I do remember that being Dusty, a potential band name.
No shade, but just going back through it, and it's like you had a girlfriend that was trying. She was like one of the things from Alien that grabs your face and like puts the thing deep down in your stomach. You know what I mean? Like she was one of the face hugger things from Alien. She was like she was trying to take over, and you were the host, and she was the parasite.
Yeah,
and so you weren't thinking clearly. You were not in the headspace. But anyway, so our guitarist quit the day after we played like our biggest show ever. So we rocked it as a 4-piece
for like 4.5, 5 years.
Yeah, which works until you go to like be creative and write stuff, and you're all alone. And it's like, Blaine, where's the guitars? Where's the guitar parts?
I did my best. You know, and
as good as
I basically created Malig out of nothing, and that was all I had.
Right. But that was such a grueling, horrible process. It was so rough to record that music by yourself.
Exactly. I had no one to bounce ideas off of.
You talk about that as probably one of your worst experiences
in music ever.
Yeah.
And I am proud of it.
I now understand.
I'm really proud of it. Yeah. I think the music that I wrote for that album is like some of the best I to date.
Malignant Transformation is the Sisyphean Conscience album. If you guys haven't heard it, it's our only full length.
I'm still very proud of that music.
You should be. I am
too. The process to get there was
grueling.
Absolutely the most painful musical creation process I've ever had. And then we bring John on.
Which was in 2015.
You bring him over to, you bring us both over to meet him, and he brings over
friends.
His
silly friends.
His friend who had a suit on.
Oh,
I was
my God.
Is this your fucking lawyer? How am I supposed to let you into this band right now?
It was very strange.
It was fucking weird. But anyways, it worked out. He learned onus. And
we were a 4-piece for a long time.
Yeah. But
then so when John and Blaine started writing stuff together, it became clear that it was like...
We went down this rabbit hole of like... We kind of just like split it into two, like subconsciously maybe, and we split it into like we're gonna do more heavy and more melodic.
Right.
Like melodic.
You doubled down on each side.
Yeah, exactly. And so that also just re-solidified the fact that we shouldn't be Sisyphean anymore.
Yeah, I mean that coupled with the name being too difficult. It was we all kind of made. I don't want to give anybody credit for anything. I think we all came together and we're like, this is a good idea.
Well, no, we dude, there was like 6 months of
talks about it.
Yeah,
and there was pushback because we were all emotional about. I was like 50-50. Garrett was like, let's fucking change it. You were like, I don't want to change it.
Yeah.
John was like, I don't know because I just started being in the band.
And then we all started teetering on either edge, and then it was basically like. I conceded defeat, and then now I realize Or like even
we have to decide that it's like putting your dog down.
Yeah, no,
it's
exactly.
fucking difficult.
Yeah,
it's fucking difficult. It's like the doctor goes, it's going to be really expensive. He's going to be in pain for a long time. You might as well just put him down now and save yourself the money and the heartache.
Good analogy.
And it's like
good analogy.
And it's like that's basically what it was. And you're sitting there in the veterinarian's office trying to figure out if you're going to put your best friend down. Right now, and that's kind of what
it hurt. It hurt at first,
and then the band name was like.
But then, as soon as we did it, and we came out with the fucking
single ACN, controlled narrative,
even that whole EP, and then we played that show with Earth
Everybody
Eater.
was just jacked about it, and it was
and it was also fun to like. No, I have to play solos for me.
It was fun to not have to headline.
Yeah,
and be able to be like, hey, we're a brand new band, but we have all this
and we played under like
nuts. We have all this nutsack from all the shows and the experience we've had.
Everyone knows who we are in this town, sort of. But like,
not everybody, but no.
Well, I mean, the people who do know us still know that this is what we're doing.
They know. There's a lot of people that I think a better way to say it is maybe there's a big group of people that go to the metal shows here. They know that we've been around for a decade.
Yeah,
they know we've been playing music.
Yeah, and the ones who showed up to any SystemCon shows are still going to show up to BYSTANDER shows.
They've always been.
Yeah.
So it's like it's cool. It's a very interesting experience to have you kind of carry over all of your tenure.
Yeah.
But you have this fresh start, and like everyone loves a fresh start. You know what I mean? The music was like edgier,
and I mean we
punchier.
got a little blowback there. It was. I mean I'm not saying anything less than negligible, but. There was definitely people who were like, I hate the name change. Like that because they did like that name.
That it was
and then
so
we went from something that was like super heady to super like straightforward.
Just
just like hard left. And some people didn't dig that, but whatever. Fuck them. We are who we are.
I wonder who takes credit for BYSTANDER. I think it's Garrett now, but I think it's me. I think I'm the one that came up with the name.
You might have, but it was also like, dude, we had like 20 different names that we were workshopping, and it took us a long time to land on BYSTANDER. We went through like
picking a band name after 10 years of being a band and not having to worry about
those were some rough meetups, dude.
That was tough.
We were not friends for a little while.
We weren't getting along.
Yeah, we were not having a good time while we were doing that because we were arguing a lot, and there was a lot of like. Everyone thinks what they want to think. Like, this is why you feel that way. And it got vitriolic for a minute, dude.
Petty.
It got... And I mean, I
can't remember it that much.
I remember it pretty well because there was a lot of like, fuck you for...
animosity.
Fuck you for even thinking that we should even keep this name kind of to me. And like, there was just like... Yeah, no, there were...
Like, we were already sold on the idea of changing it.
And I was,
you were still getting used to it.
I was still getting used to it.
You were still putting the dog down.
Yeah, and like there was, it was, I don't know, it was just strange. Like we've gone through our ebbs and flows as like a friend group where like we have this person doesn't like that person for whatever reason right now, and like but again we've known each other since we were fucking 4, but like everyone has we're doing this all the time.
I think the difference with us though, and I agree with you, and I feel like in the last couple of years, maybe since we decided we're going to change the name and we're working through that and then releasing the last EP
and then COVID hitting and then now we're here,
all of that stuff. I think 2 things, if we're being transparent and real for the podcast and shit about it, it's like I think we've gone through our lowest lows in this time and our time when because I think for like
potentially
when we were a 4-piece, before John and then right after John we were still SC with John. We didn't have, it's almost like sometimes, like a relationship that like people that like never fight and they never have arguments.
Yeah.
It's kind of toxic in its own way because they're not bringing to light
they're not hashing it out.
They're not working through stuff and they're not like growing as people.
Yeah, no,
I think that we were like stuck in that rut for a while where we were just existing and everything is just fine. You know what I mean? And we never really had a gripe.
Yeah.
And then I think as we get
older...
One
gripe came up and it became the catharsis for a movement of like...
Well, I think with
shook shit up,
everything. And I mean, even with... We were meeting up... We've met up recently about how we want to take the sound for the new album. And like we're going to have these little growing pains. But I think what really gives me a lot of hope anyway is that we always love each other. That's the biggest bottom line is that we always.
I do think like vibe wise, we've all kind of just like evolved into this consensus of like I'm thinking about back to my mindset of like when we're doing the band change or the band name change, and like even just everything leading up to that, like everything leading up to that, I feel like there was like rocky patches, and there was like, you and Garrett were doing your factory farm and shit, and like there was
we were doing the wheat farm.
Yeah, you and Garrett were like
disengaged for a while.
You guys were like kind of at each other's throats and stuff, and then like Garrett
not really.
I mean,
I don't know.
Just like the friend group vibe was different, and like we all had our issues with each other. And now it's like we might have issues with each other like here and there, but it's like I feel like we're all grown. You're 31, like we're all almost 30 now, right. And like we're all kind of to the point where it's just like squabbles, fuck them. We're way past that. Like we're way past.
Communication's key.
Communication is at an all-time high too.
I think it is. Yeah, and that's the cool thing is that we're growing from these conflicts.
Yeah,
like when we have these issues,
we don't break down.
We're overcoming them. And becoming stronger together, which is funny because you look at all the bands ever with all their member changes and stuff. We're the strongest band ever. Dude, we've stayed together since we were children, bro. Minus John.
It's the same thing as like
minus John.
You scar the tissue to make it stronger, kind of shit.
But that's the thing is I think for a long time we weren't scarring the tissue. Like we weren't having uncomfortable conversations. We were
avoiding them.
We weren't bringing
up for sure.
We weren't highlighting issues, overcoming them, and growing. And now we're in this place where I feel like the shit we've been through just with releasing the last EP was like a lot during COVID, and like we're all on different wavelengths.
I think that is what like actually brought us the closest together is that COVID happened, and like John and I kind of fell off the face of the earth.
Well, you guys were both kind of in girlfriend land,
really toxic girlfriend land,
right?
Which
you're both out of now, which is great.
Yeah,
not to say all girls are toxic, but
of course not. Of course not.
Relationships
it was just,
in general, men and women,
it was
are both
just
toxic.
they were COVID based relationships.
Yeah,
and they were just like. It was
not good.
It was bad. It was bad. We wanted John and I were also in our own headspace where we were just like, we don't know in the foreseeable future when music is even going to be a thing, if it ever even will be again.
Right.
So we were just like, let's just fuck off to the woods.
You guys were looking at it through the apocalypse lens of it's never coming back, which a lot of people did, and it destroyed so many bands.
It's sad. It's sad as fuck,
When we had a band drop for whatever reason for our hometown show, I had to go and look for bands.
Nobody
exists.
Nobody.
Not even the Odious. Not even Spinny. Not even like our best friends.
It's sad, man.
They're all gone. You know what I mean?
It's sad, but that's the way that we were looking at it. And then we're talking like June of 2020.
Stuff changes so radically in such a
short amount of time
frame.
Yeah,
like 2021. That March of 2021 still so uncertain. March of last year, which is pretty much a year ago, still so uncertain as to are we ever going to play a show again. And now we flew out the whole country.
Well,
we flew out in May.
A month later, yeah.
Because I went to Texas and I was like, no, they're ready for a metal show. You know what I mean? And then we flew out in May, and then we toured the whole country in October. And it's like, but if you were going to tell me in March of last year, before I went to Texas, that we're going to tour the whole country in October, I'd tell you you're a fucking idiot.
Yep.
Because I wouldn't believe it. You know what I mean? And we did. And so stuff is just like, musicians' brains are already fucked up. And right now, it's like, they're just fucking, our brains are so fucked up right now. All our musician friends shout out because it's like,
I think we're healing right now.
We are healing. We're coming back.
We're healing a lot right now.
But like as soon as like tours start to cancel, like everybody gets weird.
Yeah.
Are they going to take it away again?
Hands about it. Yeah.
Are they going to take it away from us again?
I don't think. I think
we have PTSD.
I think that ship has sailed.
I fucking hope so.
That ship has sailed. Like there's still going to be people who like still can't like, especially like outside of the metal world. I've heard of people still canceling tours and stuff in like different countries because
pop artists and shit.
Well, yeah, and I mean like there's still countries in Europe that are like holding down. And there's still
Germany, I think.
There's still Australia being
the UK
Australia.
is like fucking party.
Yeah, UK is ready to go.
Yeah,
but we're talking like Australia. Australia's still being Australia.
We're not talking about that.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
So I mean, as far
Canada's
as
not looking good right now.
yeah, no, but I mean, as far as the U.S. goes, man, like we have full-fledged tours going, and I mean, dude, even fucking Miles and Interloper that that's what they're doing. They're going through Canada on that one.
Yeah, they're just keeping it real.
Yeah, like Canada's still open. You just
I feel like Canada is all different because it's like different countries. I don't really understand it. I'm kind of an idiot.
Show me your papers.
I'm kind of an idiot about Canada. I don't really get how the whole thing works.
Yeah.
I'm like, is it China? Is it New Zealand? What is it? I don't know what it is.
Canada's Canada, man. But
yeah.
I mean, Trudeau is.
He's not looking great right now.
Yeah, no, he's not. But that's not what we're talking about.
No, but dude, remember back in the day when they were talking about like some Canadian like work visa thing where they were gonna like charge bands a bunch of money to go there and play shows. Do you remember that?
I vaguely, yeah.
Like an artist
visa I mostly just stay really on the ball about the fact that I still might not be able to get in there because of the DUI I got for smoking weed when I was 18 years old.
Oh my God, tell us about
my
that.
Record. Oh yeah, I graduated.
Hang on, DUI when you're 18 for smoking weed is like the worst thing ever.
Pretty much like
it's the dumbest thing ever.
You're a man now, bitch.
Deal with it.
Yeah, so I graduated high school. I turned 18 the same week, went down for a camping trip with my girlfriend at the time to the Redwoods, which is like a 7-8 hour drive down the coast.
From Portland.
Down to NoCal. And did our camping thing. It was all fine and dandy. Saw some elk. It was cool.
Right on.
Saw a couple big-ass deer and some cool trees that were like, you know, they look...
Like trees.
Large.
Bigger.
Large. Very large trees. Anyway, so we're, you know, smoking weed, drinking, da-da-da.
Were you hitting the bong in construction?
No, so
road work.
The drinking only happened when we were cooking breakfast every morning when we were camping. Drinking stopped after that. And
you weren't drunk when you're driving.
No,
yeah,
no.
I
was actually perfectly sober because of how high my weed tolerance was at that point in my life. Like it was literally just like it was like smoking a cigarette at that point.
Right.
You know, it was just like a boredom maintenance stone. But yeah, so we were driving up 101 on the coast, and there was this road work that they just like had everyone stopped at on like we're looking at the beach, and there's just stopped cars for miles, and so we're just stopped there.
So you're naturally gonna smoke.
It was
some
like
weed.
45 minutes, I think we were stopped.
The first thing I'm thinking about is smoking weed.
Yeah, so I smoked a bowl. We passed it back and forth. Gwendolyn in her minivan behind me decided she was going to call
her actual name?
I don't know. I can't remember.
It's a good name for a Karen.
I got a police report somewhere that tells me her actual name, but she called me in and said that these people are doing drugs in the car in front of me. And so
she was like a prehistoric Karen. That was before Karens were a thing.
Yeah,
and she was a real Karen from before Karens.
2011 proper.
Wow.
So yeah, we ended up driving into Waldport.
Which is explain to people what Waldport is. It's like a coastal town.
Yeah, it's a coastal town, but it's
on the Oregon coast.
It's maybe like a stoplight or two.
It's like Tacoma is to Seattle what Waldport is to Newport.
Yeah,
right. Waldport is like the little town outside of Newport. Newport is.
That's almost a bad way of putting it because of how tiny Waldport is. But there's like a stoplight or two maybe. But in any case, yeah, so I'm driving down, and there's a van in front of me, and I'm just kind of following them, doing my thing, driving. And, you know, they dipped down over the line on this big, and it was one of those, like, 55, 45, 35, 25s.
Were you even baked anymore at this point?
No, dude. No, I wasn't baked the whole time. We didn't get me baked at that point.
Right.
I was such a fucking stoner.
Right.
But, so it was one of those, like, 55, 45, 25, 35, you know. It went down really fast. It went down really fast, and I was doing like 45 in the 25, or I was doing like 40 in the 25 as I was like slowing down.
I would have pulled your ass over too.
Yeah, so he pulled me over, and you know, I'm 18, I'm a fucking kid, and like he was like, "Oh, so we got a report of you guys smoking weed in here," and I was just like,
you were literally petrified.
Yeah,
because you're 18 talking to a cop.
Yeah, I had no idea what to do.
And all you had to do was lie.
All
the
I
car
had to
didn't
do was
smell
lie.
like weed.
Yep.
Because you weren't smoking weed right then.
Yeah, no, and we hadn't for like 30 minutes.
All you had to do was like, no, we weren't. But you were just like, I'm going to be honest, and we'll get out of this the honest way.
Lo and behold.
And they put your ass in jail?
Yeah, so he was like, okay, we're going to need to, he was like, okay, like, I was like, I mean, yeah, we smoked a while ago or some shit. Like, I kind of fabricated it, but like, he was like, okay, well, that's enough for me to take him out of the car. And he goes back to his vehicle, and like in the police report, sorry.
It's all right.
In the police report, he like, I have the video of him talking to the other officer and being like, yeah, it doesn't smell like weed. This kid seems fine. Like, fuck it, you know, like let's let him go. But then he was like, I'll give it one more shot. And he went up, and that's when I fucking caved like a bitch.
I got a bong in the back.
No, I didn't say anything like that. I was like stone cold, just like I was just like, yeah, I smoked earlier, but like I'm fine now. He's like, okay, step out of the vehicle.
Oh.
And they did a field sobriety test on, so like it's like this road, and there's like a cliff drop, and then just ocean. So it, you know, the wind is blowing off of the fucking ocean, and it's cold as fuck.
Right.
So, and I'm in like blue jeans and a t-shirt, and I'm freezing as fuck, and he's like making me do the walk in a line. I'm killing that. They take my pulse 3 times throughout the whole thing, and of course it's pegged.
Because you're fucking...
Because I'm getting arrested right now. And so the only, like, literally at the end of the sobriety test, like, I passed with flying colors except for my pulse. That was what that was literally
Christ.
what they fucking took me in on, was my pulse was high the whole time. Usually they take it as like a, you know, as a baseline, and it's supposed to go down as you get more comfortable with being
tested. That's so weird.
Yeah, that's such a fucking lie. That's such a dumb lie rule.
The
like,
longer you fuck with me, the more my heart rate is going to explode, you fuck.
Yeah, exactly. And so they took me to jail. I spent the night in jail. Camille's dad came down and fucking picked me up.
Your girlfriend's dad?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he like came down from Portland and like picked me up.
And they were like super Christian, right?
No. I mean, he's Mormon, but like they're like diet Mormon.
Okay.
You know? But yeah, like he was a homie. Like he brought me a foot-long Subway, and it was like, sorry, bud. Like, and you know, and like I remember, I think I got like a text off, or like I had Camille text my parents or something, like, yo, Blaine just got picked up on DUI, and like both my parents were like super like fucking ready to kick my ass, you know? And then I was like, yeah, they were like, what did you blow? I'm like, 0.00.
Yeah, it was
son.
weed.
And I was like, I smoked one bowl 45 minutes before I got arrested. And they were like,
they weren't mad at you.
Wow, fuck that. Let's get a lawyer.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, and so we did that. But because I had admitted it.
Shout out Sue.
Yeah.
Shout out Ralph.
Yeah, basically I had to do diversion because I had admitted that I had smoked weed, and that's DUI central.
Our concern is that you can't get into Canada maybe because it's on your record.
Which I should be fine. I should be fine because they told me it would get expunged after 10 years, which it has been more than 10 years now.
Maybe we should do a dry run and just do a trip up there.
Yeah, let's go to Vancouver, see what happens.
See what happens.
Yeah, I got a passport. But yeah, it was that. And then also I did diversion. So it's not even technically a DUI on my record. It's like DUI diversion or just like diversion.
Right.
I don't know how that shit works.
They need like a DU, like driving under weed.
I went to
driving while weed.
Yeah,
like it needs to not.
Driving while weed, man. Thing. Like I'm scared of.
It can't be the same.
I'm scared of green lights.
Being shit-faced and driving is so much more fucked up than driving.
Yeah, dude. Being shit-faced and driving, I'm like, I'm gonna fucking floor it. And
I mean,
when I'm on weed,
no.
When you're on weed, it's like I'm scared of a green light. That's it. Like,
I'm unsure.
They are very separate experiences.
They are very different. But you made it out alive.
Yeah,
I'd love to go to Canada. I'd like to play Canada. I hope they get their shit figured out.
I do too, man.
It's
like
looking very
dude,
Nazi Germany right now. It's looking bad up there right now.
Yeah,
they're shutting down people's bank accounts. They're doing some crazy shit, man.
Yeah,
they're doing some wild shit. I mean,
if we start talking about that, we're gonna start talking about
but it's
a lot of
not
other
even political
shit.
Controversy. It's just
what's happening. Yeah,
not okay.
It's scary as fuck,
man.
And
the thing to remember,
it's scary as fuck.
When you piss on the American flag and you talk shit about America, and I'm not some kind of fucking Republican ass fucking, proud boy, but I am proud to live here in America, and I think those are two separate things. They want to collude like being a proud boy and being all these bad things, these terrible representations of what being like an American is. They want to equate it to like being a piece of shit. And it's like, no, fuck you.
Well, no,
I'm proud to live in a free country where we can play music and we can fucking do things and we can travel. And so I'm proud of that. And so it's sad when you see some place that like the UK, or excuse me, Canada, and I'm not super educated on this, so you can chime in and shut me down whenever, but Canada and Australia, to me, are like, it's starting to look more like they're like dictatorships that have like a nice box with a ribbon on it. And it like looks like at the end of the day, they can fucking shut it down because they control that shit. But it's like they like to make it look like democracy. It's like
China says that they're communism and they spread the wealth, even though all of the wealth is at the absolute top of it. That's what it is.
Okay.
You know, like with Australia and with Canada, they're like democracy under the you know.
But they still have kings and queens and prime ministers and shit.
Well, I mean, but it's still a democracy. Still a democracy. Just because they have prime ministers doesn't. They have a different. They have a different structure. They have a different structure than we do.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, like they have different names for their shit than we do. Like their prime minister is like a secretary of state or whatever.
Right.
You know,
it's all different names.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean,
what they're going through right now is absolutely fucked. Both of those countries are just so fucked right now.
Yeah.
I feel so bad for those.
Yeah,
people
I mean, as far as like
that are over there, I feel so bad.
labeling shit Proud Boys or whatever, especially for like Americans and stuff, like. You know,
it's just sad that it's gotten to that.
It's like
in Portland, you can't even love America without being associated with the Proud Boys.
Exactly,
I think you're all stupid. I think Proud Boys, Antifa, all that stuff is stupid. And you're all stupid. Stay in your fucking house. You know, it's like I think it's all dumb. And I can love being an American and not be a Proud Boy. You know what I mean? And I can hate like the president and not be Antifa. You know what I mean? It's like you can do all these things and not subscribe to these fucking ideologies.
Everything is deleted of nuance in this day and age.
That's so true.
Everything is deleted of nuance, and there's no like.
That's a great way to put it.
Being somewhere in the middle, like I am like.
Which I think most people are. I think most of us are just kind of in the middle trying to exist.
I know. We're all like dead center, but if we have one opinion about guns or abortion or anything, then you just get pigeonhole pegged to either side, and it's just. But that's
come together.
But then we get into the fact that that's Facebook's fault, and that's social media's fault. It does have a lot
to do with the internet for sure.
Because they fucking peg these algorithms and they put us in these like, okay, well they
do shit we don't even understand.
You clicked on that, so that's who you are.
Ooh, yeah.
And then we show you nothing but that, and you become like this radicalized this.
Right.
And then you become the radicalized this, and we just delete the center.
Dude.
Just delete the center, and it's fucking dangerous, bro.
MySpace didn't have any of that.
Yeah, MySpace was the actual golden age for social media. That was the baseline for like what social media should have been.
You see those memes where it's like MySpace was just music and learning how to code.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, dude.
HTML dog.
And a little music.
Yeah, glitter graphics. Shit.
But yeah, it's like.
But yeah, no, what like Facebook and even Twitter and YouTube and everything are doing right now is. That's the draconian shit that I'm scared of. Is the fact that
it's crazy too. You can't even really figure out what's going on anymore. Like I think
it's hard.
I think a message to put out there is like if a lot of people are like not a radical political person, like you're not like super radical on either side. It's like, which I think is most of us. Just kind of trying. I think we're all just kind of like trying to figure out what's real, man.
Just trying to survive, man. I'm trying to survive and have a good time.
I am too.
That's it.
I am too. And just
like
I don't fucking with me being allowed to play music. Then I'm gonna start getting.
And
I'm gonna start getting fussy.
I don't care about what you do with your time. I really don't.
Right.
I don't care what color your skin is. I don't care what sexual orientation you have. Like
right.
I don't give a fuck.
Just live your life and leave me alone.
Live your life and leave me alone.
That'd be great.
Yep.
But we can't.
And I understand that that's problematic.
I don't agree with that. I think that the American dream is living your life and leaving everyone else alone. I think that's the American dream.
I think that's the way
we've gotten. I think we've gotten far away.
I think that's the way the world dream should be.
Now the American dream is just about fucking bothering people. For a lot of people, the American dream must just be about just bothering people for how different their beliefs are than yours or something. I don't know what it is. But for me, it's just like, can we all just love each other and leave each other alone at the same time? That would be great.
That's hard.
It is hard. But anyway, to bring it back to fucking music and shit, which is so much easier to grasp. I mean, so when we were splitting up the music, when we were deciding to rename the band and change kind of the direction on the sound of the music, you know, it's like, where did, you know, where it's like, when did you guys decide? Because I don't even know a lot about this. How did you guys come up with? So you're in it. For a lot of people that don't know, the music that when we split off, we had like a bunch of heavy songs and a bunch of melodic songs, and we basically decided that these songs that are more heavy are going to be the bystander songs.
Yeah.
Or at that time, whatever we were going to call the project. I don't think we had a name figured out just yet. And then on this side, the melodic stuff, you guys were going to just do something else with it. You guys were going to have a side project with it, which you ended up doing, and it's called Kybalion, right?
Kybalion.
Yeah. How do you pronounce it? Whatever.
Ask the Middle Easterners. You know, I don't know. I didn't make the word
How
up.
did you guys? Did John just come up with that name, or did
no? We came with it together.
How did you guys come up with that name? The Kybalion name. Because I want to talk about that, and I want to talk about that music and what it means to me, and then I want to play some of it.
It's been a little while. I don't exactly remember. All I know is that the Kybalion is like an actual like text that has a lot of like philosophical principles of like,
it's like a Quran or something kind of thing.
Not religious though.
Not a religious thing.
Not religious. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say it is with its own right, but
sure.
It's just a bunch of philosophical principles about like how to live, and like they have the 7 principles or whatever of like basically it's like the 10 commandments of like be a good fucking person, and there's a lot of other, you know, I'm stupid, you know. We don't know about it, but we don't know a lot about it. But yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I did some research at the beginning, and I was
it's
like,
a cool name first.
Yeah. I did some research at the beginning, and I like aligned with what I read initially, and so I've never read the book, you know.
But you guys, I mean, that music is dope, and so for me, it's interesting to listen to because when we were in this limbo period, I guess, not a grace period, but like a limbo kind of period of like, what are we doing with the band? Are we renaming it? Are we going to use these songs? Right. I was kind of trying to write lyrics to all of it. So you've got this band, Kybalion, that you listen to all those songs, and it's like, I was trying to write music for like before those songs became what they are today as a finished product, when they were still demos,
just riffs and shit.
When they were just riffs and demos, like I was trying to write to them. So I have this, when I listen to that music, I get emotional about it in like a weird way where it's like I feel attached to that music. But I decided that like I'm not like
the one for it.
Yeah, and it's like, to me personally, it's almost like putting vocals on like animals as leaders to me. Like, I think the music is so great that it stands alone, and I feel like personally I wouldn't want to put lyrics on it. You know what I mean? I feel like it would be, it's really good. It's standalone. The guitars kind of sing the vocal parts, and that's just, I think that's what it is. I think it could have a vocalist on it, but that vocalist isn't me, and I'm not going to add to this. I think it's a humble thing that like, sometimes
good on you for recognizing
as vocalists,
that,
you gotta be I don't know what the word is. Self-aware, enough to know like I am not
one for this.
I'm not meant to scream on this or sing on this. Like I can sing, you know, I can sing. I could go get singing lessons and get better at singing and refine my singing voice, but that's not gonna happen for this. It just shouldn't be. Yeah. But I'm in a weird, I have such a weird relationship with the Kybalion music because I was trying to write for it. It was going to be SC stuff. And so I have this weird thing when I hear it where like I envision like myself on it. At one point I envisioned myself on it, but I no longer do.
It's like a distant dream.
I think it's like maybe, and this is just so out there because I don't know this reality, but it's like being in like a long-term relationship with somebody and then you like break up and they're like really good friends, but they like got married and have a kid, and you're like friends with like her husband and her kid, but you guys had a long relationship. I think that's what it is. It's like some weird thing like that where it's like
Okay.
yeah, because it's like the music. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like a weird.
No, I get it.
Weird
I get
thing
it.
where it's it's like you're involved in somebody's life for so long, and the music's life from the time it was just riffs to the time it was like almost done, and then you guys refined it and made it Kybalion, which is like so much different.
And then we had a kid, but we're still not successful.
I mean, but that doesn't matter. It matters how good the product is, and the thing is, it's so hard to get your music heard regardless.
Yeah, I mean, we did nothing for promoting it or anything, you know. Like we just posted it on Facebook a couple times, you know, on our personals,
which is like it's like impossible to get people to see your shit, even if
cool.
you post
and I mean,
a lot.
I've even on the tour, like I had a couple people be like, "Yo, man, like that shit." I was like,
gasses you up.
No way.
Yeah, you love that.
No way. You actually know. You actually know about that shit. All right,
we're gonna listen to some of it.
Okay.
I do want to play some of it. What's your like favorite song on the EP? Because I'm gonna bring it up.
Rough, man. Yeah, that Kanye song for sure.
Dude, we can talk about Kanye in a minute. Oh my God, Ghostman has a song called Kybalion.
Yeah, that was why
crazy.
Every time you looked it up on YouTube, it didn't show up. Just because Ghostman fucking beat us to it. Yeah, that's it. That artist right there. Yep, that's.
I'm gonna put it in the chat so people can listen.
Okay.
And then, I mean, we should definitely.
I mean, like Mart Earth is you know, the Viking song that I wrote. Like fucking, I wrote the main riff for that in like 2012. But
can you spell it? KYB
ALION. Yeah. But
all right, it's in the chat. You guys definitely grab that, add it to your playlist. But yeah, I want to give some light to this shit because not only is it cool that it like was gonna be SC stuff, some of it like when it originated as the idea, but then it's like it's so its own beautiful thing.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody knows all the SC stuff, like the song Triumph was like pretty in the realm of what we were doing with this. It's like still kind of metalcore-y, but like in more of like a melodic folk direction. Just because we started adding instrumentals to this that like, you know, orchestrations and stuff, because we kind of just went full down the rabbit hole and like got, you know, East-West instruments.
You guys went really deep in the production.
Because we did the name split, because we did
it left that shit open.
Because we were like, oh shit, well, if that's the case, then why don't we make this just like full-blown movie music?
Yes, yeah, there's no boundaries.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we went
Which I
fucking,
think for this music
full
is the
blown
best thing that could have ever happened.
Yeah.
Because you guys wrote Lord of the Rings fucking orchestrations and there was birds chirping and butterflies and shit.
Yeah, in that case, go down to the EP a little bit. Hit the EP and then hit Of the Swarm.
All right, so this is Of the Swarm by Kybalion, and Kybalion. I don't know how to say the name. You guys went and picked another name you can't fucking say.
That was kind of the point too. we were kind of.
I'm gonna share the link to this song, but this is Of the Swarm,
and it's mostly what I'm saying is like what we did at the end of this song, with basically I wrote like an acoustic part that like is the same part but in a different key of what I do halfway through the next song, Black Painted Skies. Or no, it's halfway through this. I'm tripping, but whatever. So I wrote like an acoustic part at the very end of it, and we went on freesounds.org or whatever and found like waves crashing, birds chirping, campfires, thunder, rain, all that shit, and then also with like a bunch of like choirs and like all that shit. Like we went like 27 tracks deep.
And I truly do love this music, and I think it's so underrated. And that's one of the things I just really want to play it. I want people to hear it. And that's cool.
Like I'm super proud of it. I think this is probably the coolest thing I've ever done musically.
Yes.
You know,
absolutely.
And if anyone wants to listen to it, that's cool. If not, like I still love it.
And
so
here's the song link in the chat. AL, right?
Yep, ION.
And it's Of the Swarm?
Of the Swarm, yeah. I mean, the EP is called Black Painted Skies. That's probably more important.
I know, but I'm just going to link the actual song.
Word.
And then let's rip it up. I'm going to take a piss really quick while this starts, and I'll be right back.
All right. Hand me that bottle. Oh. That's still Hades.
This was actually the one song that I wanted to be a bystander song.
Yeah, you fought hard for it.
I did, but it's better now the way it is.
Yeah, this song definitely we had a lot less melodic mindset about this one. This is probably the heaviest of the Kybalion songs. I'm just gonna get sucked into listening to it. All the orchestration and shit that we did. And then we wrote a breakdown. Yes, we are, Chris. Yes, we are. We have like probably like 4 or 5 songs that are like 10 minutes a piece that are gonna end up being this, but it's been back burner for a long time, so we'll get there. But yeah, this is where the melodic shit comes in this song. Yeah, no, we're gonna do more of this, but it's we're kind of chilling at the moment. Thanks, Dusty. Love you too. I mean, Dustin, you're gonna remember that like this specific riff right now. Like I wrote that shit when we were. That was like part of that Black Junt song that I don't remember who wrote it. Yeah, we wrote that like in fucking senior year, you know. But I just finally fleshed it out, and that's what ended up being this song.
Oh my god, this fucking breakdown is so heavy.
Yeah.
Oh! See, this is what I was mad about. I wanted this breakdown for Bystander, but
Guitar Pro wrote it.
You can't win them all. You can't win them all. For this part. Fire. Love it. So fucking sick.
Yeah, that's the other thing I didn't even realize again until like Dustin pointed it out, or didn't point it out, but it just reminded me that like that part of this shit was stuff that Dustin and I wrote a long fucking time ago.
Many years ago.
Yeah.
Good old Dusty. Fucking love Dusty, man. We gotta come visit you out in Bend, Dusty.
Yeah, I've been trying to coordinate that.
I would love to coordinate the shit out of that.
If Dustin can take a Monday through Wednesday off, it's happening.
Well, let's go.
But that's on him. He's got to figure that out. Shabba-dabba-dabba-dabba. said something about like not being able to take off a Monday through Wednesday for a while, though, right? Also, last time we talked, we were fucking hammered on FaceTime, so...
Oh, wait, hang on. The swing breakdown, folks.
Yeah.
Shout out After the Burial.
An actual swing breakdown.
Fire.
Yeah, that whole acoustic part that I was talking about is coming up here. This is like 27 tracks worth of shit. It's coming up in a second, right here.
Ooh, it's like a video game. I love it.
Good answer, Dusty. Fuck it, you're the boss.
I'll do what I want.
Like the rain, all that.
A lot of freesounds.org right here. Ooh.
He also created some shit.
What in the Metallica even is this right now? It's amazing.
We've got like the low choirs.
Oh, here, I'll turn it up on the stream. Motherfucking bam, bam, bam.
Yeah, it's a very shimmery acoustic tone that we found for that one. Yes, Chris. Yes.
This is very, it's very.
And the raven in the background.
It's very Assassin's
I know I did
Creed
that
Valhalla.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla is very this.
True.
Fuck that.
It's very Vikings.
There's a reason I have my stupid fucking tattoos. Just let it happen.
I love the crows.
The crows in the back, yeah. Straight into.
Let's go to the next one.
Oh, you got it on shuffle. Black Penis guys. Straight into that.
Sweet, we'll do this song too.
We don't have to.
No? Alright.
Keep talking.
That's fine. But I at least wanted to get a song out there and let people know.
I do appreciate that. And Black Penis guys is probably my favorite solo that I've ever written in my whole life. But
well,
you know,
I
we don't need to show that on this.
Well, and it's well, I mean, you got to give them a nugget to go check it out. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have to give it all to them on this. They can go check it out. But go check out Kybalion, you guys. And a big reason too that I wanted to put it on there is just like, I mean, you already know this, but I feel like it's like important for anyone to know. It's like, I don't have like any bad blood. I think it's hard for a musician type person or a vocalist or whatever, especially a vocalist who like 90% of what we do is like being a hype beast piece of shit and just being the front man, right?
Right.
And especially if you're a screaming vocalist, you don't do singing. It was a moment of inadequacy for me. I was inadequate for the position to scream on these songs. And not only that, but I think even more honestly, like I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to put the effort in. I think I could have probably put the effort in. I could have been Spencer Sotelo from Periphery, but that's not what I want to do with my musical career. I want to do heavy stuff. Otherwise, I'll go get a job at Walmart. Like I don't want to like force myself to do something that's not fun for me and true to me. And so it was a mixture of the two things. Like I am as I am now, or as I was then, or whatever. I wasn't up to par for singing on these songs, and I felt like it would have been a disservice to the songs. And it's big for, not to toot my own horn or anything, but it's big for somebody to admit musically that they're like, I'm not good enough to be a part of this, right? And so for me, it was a mixture of emotions where, like, I love those songs. That song specifically is probably my favorite one. And, like, it was hard for me to let him go, but I knew that that's what was best for the music. You know what I mean?
We're all better for it, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I think. And I think me not being a part of it and not forcing myself into it,
which also
you guys having full,
which also goes the other way. Which also goes the other way of, like, me with bystander stuff, you know, like I love that shit to the core and everything, but, like, when it gets down to brass tacks, like, yeah, dude, I'm just a fucking folk metal kid, and I'm like,
you like what you like.
I'm at least 20% forcing myself to play deathcore, you know.
So I mean, yeah, it's like
you know, like it's super fun to play live. It's super fun to play. It's super fun to
throw down,
create, and blah blah blah. Like I love the vibe of it. I love all of that, but, like, that's not my 100% passion, you know. Yeah. And as far as music goes,
if you got the call from Winter Sun to be the fucking rhythm guitarist, you're gone. To go on tour.
No, I wouldn't be able to do that.
Oh, you don't think so?
I couldn't live up to Temu, bro.
You could learn anything.
No, I don't know, dude.
If you got the opportunity.
Temu's like the best guitarist on the planet.
Don't shoot yourself out of the opportunity. If they want Blaine, they can have. Blaine will learn.
If I got that, I would.
Yeah,
but,
you would learn. You would figure it out.
But yeah, no, that's the thing. Is, like, you know, I see Greg, fucking
our buddy Greg Paulson,
like,
on
playing
with from Animus, on tour with Black
Crown. He's been in our, you know,
all the bands.
Yeah, all the bands. And, you know, I'm kind of, like, grasping with the fact that maybe that's, like, my career path.
Well, filling in.
Yeah. Being like I learn it by ear guitar guy.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. I mean, I don't see a problem with that.
As long as I can get paid for it, you know, that's the only problem.
Well, and this is the other thing too, and, you know, for all of his, you know, qualms and for whatever it's worth, Gus said something to me. Gus from Volume is a friend of mine, and he said something to me when he was kind of going through the story of the Volumes thing, which I want to have him on the podcast to tell his own side of the story, so I don't want to speak too much for him, but, like, him and one of the Volumes members kind of got in, like, a tiff because Gus was doing stuff with, like, rappers. This is Gus's side of the story, right?
Right.
He was doing stuff with, like, Shakewell and these bigger rap, Puya and these big rap names, and as Young Yogi. And this is what stuck out. This is what stuck out to me, is that Gus said, like, what's good for Young Yogi is good for Volumes. And that was something that people in Volumes at the time couldn't grasp, was, like, just because you're not the rapper and you're not doing great things right now or whatever, you're not bumping shoulders or whatever they call it, rubbing elbows
yeah.
with these famous rappers, it doesn't mean that it's not also good for the band, right? And so it's like, it to me, it was like, I don't know, that kind of, to have that music be flushed out, I just feel like whatever's good for Blaine is good for, and John is good for Bystander. And you guys have to have that outlet to be able to create fucking dope shit. And I absolutely love that music.
Yeah.
And so I think that shit needs to be, I don't know, when you guys get a vocalist on, I know there's been some talks about maybe somebody from another reputable band coming in and maybe doing vocals. And if that happens, I think you guys should just re-release it. No harm, no foul. Nobody will know the difference.
Yeah.
Just re-release it and re-promote
We're
it.
way on that train that, like, basically nothing has happened yet.
Right. And I mean, you guys can still, you know, re-release that music. And I really think it's Blaine for Winter Sun 2022. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to look at the chat. But I agree. No, but it's like, anything like that. It's like, or no, that's what I was getting at, is if you're going to go fill in with a bunch of bands when we're not touring, like, whatever's good for Blaine, that's good marketing, networking for us. Yeah. How many people are you going to meet? You're going to meet everybody. That's great. You should do that. I think a lot of people are really weird about their band members, like, doing stuff for other bands. Like, don't. It's do like stuff for
it's
other
like
bands.
a relationship.
Yeah, it is kind of like I've always described
don't get cheaty on me.
I've always tried to describe it as being in a relationship with 5 dudes, but you also run a business together.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure everyone.
It's like the worst versions of marriage.
You have to make sure everyone is.
It's the worst versions of marriage, and we're also not in love with each other.
I don't know. I'm in love with you.
I mean, yes.
But no.
But we're not like in sexual love with each other.
Right. Well, no, I'm just kidding. But no, but you're totally right in that it's like you have to make sure that everyone's doing okay emotionally and mentally.
Still gotta check in.
And then you also have to check in about running the business together.
Yeah,
so there's like these two separate things.
How are you doing? Where's my money, bitch?
It's fucking insane.
Pay me for the trailer, actually.
I do need to pay you for the trailer.
Yeah, pay me for the trailer.
Dude, we got our trailer stolen in 2015. We've had everything happen.
You just scared the shit out of me.
No,
not
our current trailer.
Okay,
our
yeah.
old trailer.
Whew.
In 2015.
It's like someone broke the boot?
No.
It's ready to fucking throw some hands, dude.
No. Our current trailer is good, but man, we got a trailer.
Yeah,
stolen.
no.
That's the worst thing ever.
It was.
It had all the old SC.
It
merch.
was. I still wish that we had that trailer.
I love that trailer.
That trailer was a good fucking trailer,
it's a good
man.
fucking trailer, dude.
Yeah, we bought it from some Russian in Troutdale. It was a good time.
He took good care of it too. It was
Yeah,
amazing.
and then you fucking left it outside your face.
Listen, I'm sorry.
Anyways, not throwing blame. What's your next question? Let's start getting through this, man. Like,
we've gone, far enough.
I feel like we're almost at 3 hours now.
Yeah, I mean the first one was about an hour, and we're at like an hour 45 or an hour 54 right now. I mean, I think I pretty much covered like everything I had written down. Unless there's anything else that you want to talk about, I mean, we can wrap it up. I think it's been great. This is the first time I've gotten to interview one of the band dudes, and I think we had a super fun time. It's
a good time.
It's amazing to do a couple hours, and like you said at the beginning, like of the podcast before we started.
Like, how the fuck are we going to talk for 2 hours about anything?
And we could literally keep going.
We just vibe. But no, that's cool.
Yeah. I've known you for
our whole life.
My whole life, and I love you. You're one of my best friends of all time. And I'm so glad that we get to travel and play music together. I think it's big arm one. I think it's big Nordic arm one. Yes, I love you, and I think that it's one of the greatest gifts of my lifetime is to be able to go around the country or wherever and play music with one of my best friends. I love it. I would never want to live in a fucking 12-passenger van with anyone else. Right. I know. I feel the same way. As long as you're not driving. You guys follow Blaine on Instagram. I'm gonna put his links in the chat. BLN.BRN. Blaine Brun, dude. I'm gonna put him in the chat right now. Follow Blaine. Stay in touch. Norwegaboos, yeah. We're fucking I'm a Norwegaboo. Yeah. Look at my stupid arms. Fucking. You can shout your tattoo artist out if you want. Oh, yeah. At Rabbit Tattoo. Instagram. She fucking kills it. She actually sent me like 14 reels during this conversation. Oh, my God. You guys have a good relationship, and that's good. Yeah, we're sharing memes all the time. That's good. You got to share memes with your tattoo artist, but... Yeah. But, I mean, if there's anything else you wanted to plug, anything else you want to talk about, Blaine? I don't know. I think you're an amazing guitarist. You're one of my favorite people. You're one of my favorite people on this planet, and I'm so blessed that you're still in my life after all these years, and that we're still playing music. And, never mad at it. We got new music coming out. It's not necessarily ready to be out yet, but we're working on it. We're hard at work. Let me do my hot ones. This camera, that camera, this camera. It's this camera. So yeah, we got what you got going on. Yeah, thanks, Sean Evans. Yeah, no, we got a new album that's in the works still. Full length. You know how it goes. It's gonna fucking take a minute, but we're gonna do it. And then once that comes out, we're stoked on it. We're really stoked. Yeah, on it. There's a lot of good riffs, a lot of good stuff coming together right now. We've been working really hard on it, and once it happens, it's gonna hopefully hit you in the face. If it doesn't hit you in the face, then it's not for you. But it'll hit some people in the face, And then we're gonna do that, and then John and I are working on some of the other project. We're gonna do more kibbles. We call it kibbles. Kybalion. Kibbles and bits. Kibbles and bits. Kibbles and bits. That's it. We're doing new kibbles. There's going to be new kibbles. There's going to be new bystander. Maybe some guitar videos in the future. We can do that together. That's on him. Hey, that's on both of us. But yes. If we can get together for a fucking what we're doing right now, we can definitely get together for a guitar video. And we will. We'll do some more guitar videos. Yeah. We'll do all kinds of fun stuff. But Blaine, It's been fucking real, dude.
Yeah, man.
I love you.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so glad we did this.
Appreciate
we'll have to
it.
do a follow-up. And
we'll do a part 2 at some point.
Yeah. And we'll get the rest of the band on here. But everybody go follow Blaine.
That might get chaotic, but,
and, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for coming through, you guys. GG's. Have a good one.